Hello, you beautiful tubers, you. I bet you weren't expecting the old fashioned countdown timer, the no intro. But tonight is I want to get into it immediately. Probably one of the coolest people, really, on YouTube has agreed to join us tonight and talk about a very serious topic. Without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and bring her in. Yeah.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
You're awesome all the way around. We
Oh,
love
thank
you.
you.
It's so funny. I can't, I think I heard your name before I knew you. It's,
Probably.
so if that tells you about like how awesome you are, how much you're loved and everything, it was awesome.
Thanks.
Real Talk's here. Sully's here. Let's see. I'll do this like this. Sully's here. Real Talk's here. Um, Yaya says hello to Sully. Squad Bob, how you doing? Uh, Frank, what's up, man? Let's see here. Go through real quick. Tom Gillis, golf instruction. This guy's like serious and legit, and he's on YouTube. I can't figure out why. Dragon Man. TR Greater X. He went to Anime Matsuri. Are you familiar? Are you big into the comic book industry stuff? Yeah, yeah.
No, my
Not
husband
me.
is though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was kind of making a joke about it, and because I figured I was going to expose my nerd side, but that's awesome. Your husband's into it.
Yeah.
See, that's what I love about this great, big, wonderful internet. We get to meet people that you'd never know. And then White Rabbit, I'm actually surprised she left the other show she was watching. She only would do that for you.
Oh,
For me, it would not be. But anyway, yeah, tonight this is a topic that Yaya brought up. When did you? This was like 2 weeks ago. I don't
I
remember
don't.
what happened. You came onto one of the streams and you asked if we had heard about I may be mispronouncing the name, Taylor Schabusiness,
That's correct.
and I had not, and a lot of people had, and so I got off and started looking it up, and that was like a few days after I guess she had her first court hearing,
Yeah.
and she pled not guilty, and I
Yeah.
did a what are those things called? Premiere on her case. I read her the complaint against her, which is the complaint is the evidence that the police have gathered together. They hand it over to the district attorney. The district attorney then puts on the information they give and puts applies it to the law and it presents it to the court. So, and I know like everybody knows this, but like for those that don't, there's always will be somebody who will be coming in like, ooh, and now what's this part of it? True crime slash law, I guess law tube, is it's a finite group. You're familiar with the true crime groups, I
Yeah.
know.
Yes, I'm not a true crime creator.
You're not. You're not. You want to tell us what your channel is? I don't think I put that up
My
yet.
channel is I actually suffer from severe fibromyalgia. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've just been diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease now
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of other autoimmune and chronic illnesses. And I noticed that because I have insomnia, a lot of people at night that were up would say, would see in chat that they had the same things going on. I'm like, hey, why not start a support group
That's
for
awesome.
people like us? Because people don't understand if they don't have it, they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I started off. But I was in the true crime area because I was following the Summer Wells case.
Were you really?
Yes. Uh-huh.
I had no idea. Summer Wells.
Not on my channel, but I was following it with other creators.
That is so crazy. So everything on this channel goes back to Summer Wells.
Yeah.
Um, when I got started on YouTube, it was my wife bought me a microphone and said, "Quit talking to me." She said, "You watch videos and then you come in and try to tell me, talk to me about them, and you're talking all the time." And of course, this was like during the whole lockdown. And it's funny. I had to go to an appointment today, and I was like, "Wait a second, is there still mask going on? Like, is this?" I could not remember. It's like, am I supposed to have a mask? Do I need to have one with me? Will they let me in? One of those things. I was. It's a weird feeling because
Yeah.
it feels like it never ended. It's never ending type thing. But anyway, so she got me the microphone, said go YouTube. And I was like, okay. And so the first thing that got me was because during lockdown everything got real quiet. It seemed like, and
Yep.
Summer Wells started popping up, but I was like, I don't really want to do something that's Tennessee, uh, because I didn't think it would grow into anything. I figured it'd be like a week or two and be over with.
Boy, were you wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still a
It's
big
turned
deal.
into one of the biggest shit shows on YouTube.
There you go. You're absolutely correct. My start was Gabby Petito.
Yes, but I follow Gabby on Twitter.
Oh wow.
I was
Tw-
on Twitter and I followed Brian Enton
yes, yes.
and on Twitter. And honest to God, I still do not know for the life of me what the hell brought me to YouTube.
Weird,
I
right?
can't, I don't know how I got on to YouTube and following these cases of missing children. It's kind of I admit I am a true crime junkie. Um,
Uh huh.
the other night and the night before we were talking about what people's favorite shows are, TV shows and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like all these, documentaries, these true crime shows,
Yeah.
cold justice, that is, what I was in.
Uh huh. Do we lose your sound? Did sound go off? Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
okay. You went off for a second.
Oh,
So you said true crime documentaries, and then it kind of stopped a little
oh, I,
premature.
I like following like the ID channel. I mean, the true stories, documentaries. Like I'm like really wrapped up on the Crystal Rogers case, which we are actually doing uh, a segment on Purple Knights channel
I don't
about
think.
that.
Yeah, purple. I love purple. The
Yep,
purple bombs.
yep.
Everybody, I have to explain them to people.
And
Uh,
then like Cold Justice, that show on cold cases, and I'm fascinated by these types of
purple.
things. So that's when I got over here and started listening to the Summer Wells case, and then it just got, after a while, to be too much. I mean,
Yeah, that's
so
so. Like my wife is like you. She's into all the true crime stuff, and I'm sitting there going, I can't stand this stuff. And it took. I don't know if you saw her, Rubia. She's an
yes,
attorney. Like she came on. She's awesome, man. You
I
talk
like
about.
her.
Oh, she's so full of energy. I love her. And she said to me one time she can't do true crime like stuff. It's the thing that gets her is anything about kids. She
Yeah,
says it's depressing. So I've decided not to have anything to do with it. And I'm like, that's how I've always been. And then, and literally, it was like during that whole lockdown stuff, when you're new to a creator thing, and I had no idea what to talk about. Uh, I knew what things I was wanted to talk about maybe, and I was like, oh, well, all that stuff you get kicked off YouTube for talking about that now. So So I said, "Oh, look, there's a cute blonde girl nobody can find." America has its favorite pastime is missing blonde women, and
Yeah.
it's weird. And so anyway, I started doing that, and then just kept hearing more and more about Summer Wells, and like I said, Tennessee, right? I lived not all that far. I mean, I lived within driving distance of like where she is and everything, and so I did the uh, I drove up with the rabbit in January this year, and we did
Really?
the we drove to Beach Creek. Is it Beach Creek? Where the Beach Creek Road and all that, like
Yeah.
where her house, the family, the Wells live.
Yeah. And that, yeah.
Because I thought this would be good content, and so I got that stuff. I downloaded it, and that was like one of my first lives because I talked it through as I did the drive, and I met Jules from California, Sully, both of them on that stream, and they've kind of stuck around since then. And then it was the Summer Wales. It's still going on. It was June 15th was a year,
Yep.
and my buddy Volstorm and we took a trip up there, and we did the entire drive of the last day of Summer Wales because people were like, the thing about the milk blows my mind that people are
Yes.
upset about that because I'm like, we went to the store that they bought the milk at. It's not maybe 20-minute drive maybe to get home to their house from there. And like there's
Mhm.
a lot of conspiracy theories that were coming up. And now when I say coming up, I mean like that day. Those of you that
Yeah.
don't know Summer Wells stuff, there will be the same topic and there will be a different conspiracy theory about it.
Oh, there's probably 100 conspiracy theories about one little thing.
Oh yeah. Did you hear about the people that claimed that they had dug a tunnel underneath their house and were what is it? I don't know. Like it was like a tunnel to what is it when you trap? Can't think of the words. I'm stuck on the.
I haven't heard of anybody digging a tunnel under their house.
Well, supposedly the wells. They're part of this trafficking. Trafficking is the word. I couldn't
Oh,
think of
oh, oh.
trafficking. Yeah, supposedly they have. That was one theory I heard that they had dug a tunnel out and they were trafficking children through that mountain. And
I
I'm
have
just
not heard that. We've got a couple of the girls here. We got Lori, Amanda, Purple, Brenda, that we all have followed
yeah,
these cases together, and I don't know if even they have even heard of that, but that's hmm,
yeah.
interesting.
It's crazy. I mean, it's so weird. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. The Summer Wells. I think it's funny. It always seems like we go back to her. But yeah, I've got all the video and stuff like that. Because people, when they were doing videos of that place, they take videos of themselves walking through a field. If you ever notice, I was like, why not just put the camera on the front of the car
Yeah.
and go everywhere? Um. So anyway, yeah, true crimes, which got you into it, but you wanted to do something because of everything you're going through. That's
Hmm.
awesome.
Right.
That's you actually make a difference, unlike me, where I just sit here and jibber jabber.
Well, actually, my channel is a we just jibber jabber too,
That's awesome.
but we check in on each just to see how everybody's handling things, if anybody's got any questions, because I love to do a lot of research on it.
Hmm.
Uh, I've got books here. When I was just diagnosed last month with the Hashimoto's, I got a book. I've been digging into that, and I've been finding out some crazy, crazy stuff about that disease and how it affects you. And holy cow, it just it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
It's just it's
And So I'll bring, and I'll go over chapters of the books on my channel and stuff like that. I have been taking a break from my channel due to
Yeah.
stuff going on, and
Hmm.
for my physical and mental well-being, I had to take a break from it all.
Understandable. It's very understandable.
And but I'm back.
That's awesome. As long as you keep coming back.
Yeah, and then today
Y-
happened, so that was tough. And but you know, it makes you realize how short life can be, you
You
know?
got to love every day. You got to
Yeah,
love every day. Even your
yes,
bad days are great.
yeah.
I I like the Colonel Sanders. My Colonel Sanders analogy is that here's the guy that created KFC, and he just ran a little side of the road hotel. He didn't even become a millionaire until after he was 70. I was like, he lived the greatest life he ever could. I mean, it's just you always have to drive that you never know what's going to happen next, and
Right.
you just have to put yourself out there. If you
Yeah.
want something to happen, you just got to put yourself out there.
And
Um,
I don't want this big, huge channel,
mhm.
because I like it to be a little bit more one-on-one, where you can actually read chat and you see who's in your chat. And if someone's saying, "Hey, I'm having a really bad day with this,"
Mhm.
i- if I know how to help them with something I've tried,
Mhm.
I'll say, I'm not a doctor, by the way, and I don't play one on TV or on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just go by what I've experienced, what I have gone through, the medications, uh, the horrendous effects of
Mhm.
some of the medications, what they, and that's what we talk about.
Yeah, and it's amazing. You don't have to have a big channel to have a big effect. And there's a big movement right now about small creators. And my thing is, I always said my goal is to be like Cutie Pie. It's like that million type sub thing. But I never want to be anything more than having this. Like I'm becoming more and more interview style of YouTube, and that was something I never planned on. None of this is anything I ever planned on, and I
I
think
never planned it.
it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. I have a friend of mine that said, "Could you imagine we had YouTube if we started that stuff like 10 years earlier?"
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
and I'm sitting here going, "Well, if it was 10 years earlier, I would have." I don't know. I'd probably be banned today, but
Yeah.
um, so
I'm actually surprised you're not already. No, I'm just kidding.
hey, did you? Nick Rekieta got banned. Oh, you're in Wisconsin. He's in Minnesota. I was gonna say someone up in your neck of the woods. But Nick Rekieta is a big law tuber. Has 469,000 subscribers, and
Yeah,
he
I know
got
who he is.
yeah. He did you see his ban for a week or his
No.
strike?
Uh-uh.
He showed a video that did not. It was a not
Not
mall.
politically correct.
No, it was in a mall, and it was a knife fight that did not go well, and it was too graphic for YouTube's terms of service. And
Yep.
so, and that's why I keep telling people, I'm like, you don't understand, like what you say in the chat, what you put in there, all this stuff, man. YouTube's on you, and people or I didn't realize all this stuff until it hit monetization. Then all of a sudden, all my older videos started getting hit with
Yep.
limited runs. I'm like, why is that getting a limited run? And it's because, as you well know, you can't say. I think the code word is SA,
Yep. Yep.
or it's like they.
For the S word, you can say off yourself.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Yep, and they don't like you to say the K word or M word. And
Mm-hmm.
with this case, when we're talking about it, you have to be very careful on the graphic
A lot of it.
details of the case and kind of,
Well,
yeah, you have to be careful.
I read the complaint the other day. There
Yeah, I
are
was here.
a few things I softened, but so
Yeah.
far I have no problems. They have no problems with the case, and I guess because it's a government document, it's the only thing I can think of. But so that also brings me to you. You live in the same town as this.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have a connection. Before we
Yes.
go into all that, though, I want to ask you, and this will put me into your shoes, or I guess maybe me being able to see it through the eyes of somebody else. What was it like that morning? When did you find out about this? Did you find out about this on the news?
Actually, no. I was on vacation in Florida
Mm-hmm.
and I got a text message from my son.
Okay.
And I was actually in the middle of a live,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm reading this text message. And to be honest with you, I was kind not joking about it, but I think I said something to the effect, I'm like, what? My son's sending me this, and I'm reading this text message, and I said, oh, great, watch it be someone I know or know of or whatever, I'm like, because it's a small community.
Yeah.
Green Bay is not that big, people. It is not
Yeah.
as big as people think it is. Everybody knows everybody. There's like, what do you call that?
Small town, basically. I
Well,
mean.
no, it's where somebody knows you through somebody else, things circulate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I texted him back. I'm like, why are you sending me this? Because I didn't recognize her name.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Mom, that's Taylor Coronado. And
Mm-hmm.
I freaking lost it. I
Now,
lost it.
is
Like
Schabusiness the
meltdown.
is that the married name?
No, actually, it's not. She made that name up. Yes, Dragon,
Oh.
degrees of separation. Thank you.
Oh. Yeah,
Um,
this chat's awesome.
um, Taylor's, I knew her as Taylor Coronado.
Okay.
She got married, and oh, I can't right now for the life of me think of what her married name is.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because I think in the all the documents I read and everything, it just says Schabusiness
yes, she
for everything.
changed her name to
Okay.
Schabusiness. Yes. Don't want, I asked my son, he has no idea. In fact, um, her brother didn't even know she had changed her name.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Um, real quick, hang on a second here. Let me see if there's a. I thought I saw something in the chat here. No, I appreciate Sully put up graphic warning, graphic content, and I was like,
yes,
I kind of guess like for those of you that don't know, you just look up the case. Okay,
yeah,
first of all, and I put on my community board uh, my premiere I did the other day about it. It's like 30 minutes. I know it's long, but that's the
it was
first time
good.
that's the first time I everything I do here is I like to do it for the first time so that way you get the raw reaction. And I just stopped, man. I remember stopping one point and I was just going, God, man, I just can't imagine.
Hmm.
But this is the she's been charged with uh, the K-ing of her. I don't even think it was a boyfriend, right? It was
Well,
a fling.
um, actually, he was her high school sweetheart.
Oh, okay.
Um, he also went to school
Hmm.
with my son, both my sons. My my oldest son, okay, it's just so this I can let you guys figure this out. Um, my oldest son went to high school with Taylor. They were in the same grade. They were friends in grade school, and she started drinking, getting into drugs when she was about 12 years old.
Mm.
And that's where he kind of, or like, I think they stayed friends maybe through freshman, sophomore year, but she lived a block away from me.
Oh,
And
really?
then, yes, she lived a block away from me. And her brother, AJ, is the same age as my youngest son, and they've been best friends since grade school. They lost their mom when they were young. She passed away.
Hmm.
So AJ was always at my house, and my youngest son was always at AJ's house. Um,
So your youngest son was around her more than your oldest son, right?
after the high school thing,
Okay.
yes. But she would come over to the house,
Hmm.
every now and then she'd be over at the house, and they always called me mom.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was
Well, let me ask you. So you're on vacation. You're having
yes.
a happy, good time. You're supposed to be relaxing.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, you get back home.
Well, I was still on vacation when I found out.
Yeah, you find out this news. I imagine it's kind of wears on you. You're thinking about stuff. But when you got
Oh
back
yeah.
home, what was this talked about a lot? And I'll what I'm asking for is because we just talked about Summer Wells, and people are amazed when I tell them that there are no Summer Wells signs. There are no wanted signs or lost little girl signs. Like you wouldn't even know Summer Wells existed when you go to East Tennessee.
That's
And
sad.
yeah, and so like you had this whole community on YouTube that's obsessed with her, and it's like the earth just opened up and swallowed her up.
Right.
So when I guess maybe what was Green Bay like? Or is like your friends, your community? Did
No one
people just
talks
say,
about it.
okay, okay,
No one talks about it.
that's so
And um when I got home, well, after I found out and towards when I got home, it started hitting me. What could I have done?
yeah,
Could I have done something to help her when she was younger?
but
Could I have
you know you
prevented this?
can't.
Well, I know, but as a mom,
Yeah.
I knew her. She was friends with my oldest, and her brother um is was friends with my son
Yeah.
up until his passing 4th of July weekend.
And that's the
And
one you've told me about that one, right?
yes, yeah,
And we're let's not talk about
yeah,
that.
I really
Be
don't.
Yeah.
I'll cry.
Oh yeah. I mean, hello, you'll cry. I'm about in tears right now. I'm like, okay, we gotta stop this. Okay.
Yeah, no. Um,
Oh, quick. Oh, puppies. I hate the way puppy breath smells. I know I'm the only person in the world that hates that, but anyway, just had to get my mind off something real
yep.
quick because I really could. I could cry with you. Um, what
But
is I mean, I don't want you to feel that guilt, and that's horrible.
it's not. I don't anymore. It
Good.
was that initial shock.
Hmm.
Um, I know, I should say, more about her childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want it out there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put it out there.
And you don't have to do anything. You don't
No,
have to say
well,
anything
it's
about
all
that.
out there now.
Okay.
Because um, I didn't have solid proof of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was hearsay. You hear things. Um, so I went through that a little bit, and then talking to my oldest, and we started kind of going over things. And I mean, she has had problems from childhood on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, her mother passing away, her, and I'm just going to say allegedly at this point because he has never been charged for it.
Mm-hmm.
There was alleged essay from her
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
Um, she
And we
started
definitely want
drinking
to make
heavily. Yeah, she
emphasis on
started
the
drinking
alleged.
heavily. Huh?
We definitely want to make emphasis on alleged.
Yeah, we have to say allegedly
Yeah.
because I do know charges were pressed, but they were dismissed
Okay. You said she started drinking heavily.
at 12.
Oh, jeez. How does a 12-year-old even get?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't think I even knew what drinking was at 12 years old.
No. Um, she dropped out of high school, I think her sophomore year, right after her sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh God, I remember one night coming home, my husband and I, it was in the dead of winter,
Mm-hmm.
and this car comes flying by us. Y'all, this car was going so fast, and this is a small community where I am because it's on the outskirts, a subdivision of Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of roundabouts. And this car is flying over the top of the roundabouts. They're flying through people's yards over freaking snowbanks. I mean, we're talking,
I mean, it's Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's a lot of snow in the dead
yeah,
of winter.
yeah. And we found out the next day it was her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the hell is this girl thinking? You know, and then
Did
I've
she?
never not
I'm
heard
sorry.
her name in years.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew her brother again, very well. And then this happens, and I'm like, what in the actual F?
Did she have a job or anything you know of?
What I do know is
Because you said she dropped out at her sophomore year in high school.
about, I think it was around her sophomore year,
Yeah.
junior year, somewhere in there. Um, she moved, I think, to Texas for a while.
It's
Um,
Texas's fault.
and then she got married, had a baby. The baby was taken away by Child Protective Services. Her husband's in jail, right? He's still in jail, I believe. I believe he's still in jail. So she started this love affair with the victim,
Mm-hmm.
who was her high school sweetheart.
So, what about?
She
I
was into
mean,
drugs,
yeah, that was. I remember
very
that
apparent.
from. Yeah, from the case against her. It says, was it? She said that her and it's Tyler, I believe. Isn't that right? Is that his name? Uh,
Shad.
Shad, yeah. Oh, sorry, Shad. Were did she say doing the bitch? And that was
Yeah,
what it said.
they
I've
were
never heard.
they were smoking pot, apparently, and then they started doing meth, and then they injected either themselves or each other with trazodone.
That's just. I mean, that's so
So,
crazy.
yeah. And on top of that, she is, my understanding, she's severely bipolar.
Yeah.
And if she's on any other medications for that, well, that's, I saw a spontaneous combustion. Thank you, Jules.
Mm.
That's the perfect word for it.
So her husband's in jail.
Yep.
Her baby's in state custody.
Yep.
She meets.
I think family members now have her child. I don't know that for sure.
I mean, that's. I'm thinking with custody like that, they try to
Yeah.
find family, try to keep the child in family. So hopefully that's the
Yeah.
case. Um, so do you know the um, the, do you, do you know the victim's family as well?
No, I do
Okay,
not.
okay.
And in fact, my son real has very um doesn't remember a whole lot about him from high school. He also dropped out.
Hmm. That's just it's that gets me because both him and her were like on parallel paths, and then they cross again, and this horrific thing happens,
Hmm.
and and it's I don't know. So of course, now all this, she's innocent until proven guilty. She hasn't had her court. These were just talk about on what the charges that she's been brought up against. And I know that she has admitted some stuff, but even we know from a long time in true crime stuff, you can admit stuff, and it's not you didn't really admit it.
Well,
Uh,
they did
mhm.
do a competence
Competency.
compens hearing
Hmm.
where the it was decided that she was competent to stand trial,
Oh, I see.
and her her attorney was fighting it, and I just love it because here's another twist. The judge is my divorce attorney, by the way, or was my divorce attorney. This
So
can't get,
wait a second.
yes,
After getting you through your divorce, he said, "Screw this, man. I gotta become a judge. I'm not practicing law
my
anymore."
divorce was very good. It was
That's
there
awesome.
was, no, I'm still good friends with my ex-husband, so no,
Oh
it's all right.
wow, wow! Congratulations.
No,
And
we
I do
raised
mean
our,
that sincerely. Like
yeah,
I hate seeing messy divorces and
no,
stuff.
we raised our two kids, him and his wife, and my husband and I. We co-parented. We were always there for our kids. We did not fight. We did not argue. Um, we were there
That's
for
awesome.
everything.
That's
We'd sit
awesome.
together during all, and the grandparents, everything. We When we would go to my son's wrestling tournaments and stuff, we all sat together. So I mean, but yeah, the judge, the now judge, was my divorce attorney.
Oh
But
wow.
they then turned, and because her attorney, here's the conflict of interest also.
Hmm.
Her defense attorney is a DA, is that right?
Yeah. District attorney.
Um, yeah. And he is also the defense attorney handling her dad's case right now for SA on the stepsister.
Oh and yeah. No. So he works for the state. Yeah, he's prosecuting,
The
right?
prosecutor, No, her a
No.
defense attorney
Oh, really?
is also her father's defense attorney right now on
Oh,
another
that's
case.
weird.
Yes. So,
Is he a public defender?
yes.
Probably, yes. Okay, yeah, public
Yes.
defender.
And
Uh,
so anyway,
my
the
experience with
judge,
that is that public defenders just the court system is truly overworked. It used to be that of the state. This was a Tennessee statistic of the state's budget. The court system, and you figure we have 95 counties. Each county's got a courthouse. The court system was only 3% of the state's budget.
oh,
Yeah, so I mean it's.
I just want to say something to people in chat.
Uh-huh.
Trazodone, depending on who you are and how it affects you, they had put me on trazodone and it almost killed me, just
Oh
so you
wow.
know. And that
Oh
was
wow.
taking it as prescribed. So yeah, no with trazodone for me. Um, so anyway, the
And
judge,
also, real quick, chat. I'm not ignoring you guys. Like I see you. You got some really good comments. I don't want to mess up the flow
no,
of
I'm watching them
Yaya's
too.
conversation. See, Yaya's a creator. She understands. And it's so if you see anything, Yaya, that you wanted to bring up in the chat, let me know, and I can I'll just pop it up like that.
Yeah,
And
no, it's fine.
but yeah, guys, I just I'm not ignoring you. It's the flow of this, and like I told you guys, like this is just your time. So sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting. Go on.
So they did find her competent to stand trial. Her attorney disagreed. The judge uh, gave them a certain amount, I don't know how much time it was, and the, the attorney had to pay for another psychiatrist to do another mental exam on her. Well, obviously, they would find her not competent, but the judge in turn said she was competent to stand trial.
Mm-hmm. So it'll
So,
be I think it's like October like 21st or something like that. That's the
yeah,
trial date.
yeah. And I just, to me, how she is pleading not guilty
Mm-hmm.
is, I'm sorry, but is blows my mind.
You have you look at it from a moral uh I mean, because she admitted to it to the
Yes.
cops. And of course, so you have to look at that. Was she still under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time? But she admitted to it. The preponderance of the evidence. The thing, there's the evidence that also gets me. That's something I want to ask you about. That, and
Sorry, I almost coughed, choked on my water there.
what happened?
I almost choked on my water there when you said the evidence. I'm like, oh boy.
Oh, I thought I heard you giggle. And by the way, you have a
Yeah,
beautiful giggle. But I was
thank
like, wait
you.
a second here. Hold on. Did I mess something?
No,
Did you hear me there? I said, did I mess something? I was getting ready to say, did I miss something or mess
no.
something up? And it came with the just, did I mess something? I haven't learned how to talk yet fully. So that's still, still something
I
I
just
hope to
agree with
achieve.
the rabbit and say words are hard. Words are
Yes.
different. I'm the same way. I'll lose my train of thought in the middle of something. I'll change. I have ADD really bad, so I'll switch topics every 5 minutes. So people have to keep me on course too. So
Or they
it's all
just,
good.
or they just have to keep up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Um, So the evidence, and I am I think I'm going to get you here. I'm going to get you on something I bet you never expected me to ask, and
Go
it's
right
something
ahead.
that just blows my mind every time I see a newspaper article, reading the charging document stuff, all this stuff is that they say, okay, for those of you who don't know, there was dismemberment
Yeah,
involved.
lots
So
of dismemberment.
yes, this woman, She laughed and said that her favorite knife was a bread knife because it was serrated. Um, and we're talking about like completely like every joint type of dismemberment. But the thing, and I forget what they said was found. We'll just say parts were found
Pieces, parts.
in a crock pot box. And it always like, gets me. I'm like, why do they specify it was a crock pot box?
Why? Yeah. Why did they have to say that? Why couldn't they just say it was
Just a
found in a
box,
box?
like an Amazon box, an anything box, and they don't say there's a crock pot in there. It just says in a crock pot box. And I know it sounds bad, and you don't have to. If you haven't thought about it, you don't have to say it or anything else. But I've always been stuck on that as if they were like hinting towards something else, because they ask her where the remaining pieces were, and she said, "Good luck finding them."
Um, I never, to be honest with you, uh, when I heard that, um, I that never crossed my mind.
So you know that I'm thinking Jeffrey Dahmer type.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah, I'm very, yeah. That's another Wisconsin thing. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
so
Well, that's right. I forgot about that.
yeah,
Somebody told me that she said she was fascinated by Dahmer,
that's
and
not true.
okay, I had never seen that, but again, these are the rumors, right?
Yeah.
So you never thought that, and you haven't heard anything to do that. It's just that it's just weird that they point out it was a crockpot box.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's in the police report. That's what gets me. I'm like,
I know.
why?
But she left the heads
Yeah, oh, that is so
in in
perfect.
in the bucket, and the all of the parts were still in the basement except for the leg and something else I don't recall. Sorry,
Yeah, it was
was
like,
in the box in her car.
and but also wasn't it the? And I may have this wrong. I thought it was like his entrails were missing. Like she's trying to get. She,
I di- I didn't see that.
okay,
If that was in the report, I missed that.
I just know like she said good luck finding everything. Uh, let's see here. Hang on, let me back up because I feel like to the chat that they're having. If I came in right now, I'd be saying what's going on. Uh, guys, do yourselves a favor and look up. The name is Taylor, Taylor, Schabusiness, SCHA, and then it's just like business, BUSINESS. Uh, it's a case in Green Bay, Wisconsin. A woman was charged of, well, really rough
Uh,
sex. Was
well, she was charged with murder. I'll just say
yeah,
it, murder. Um, just
mutilation.
mutilation of a corpse and essaying
The
a
corpse.
deceased, the corpse.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe that's something that I when we start talking about it, I should have written down all the charges in order because I know that everybody wants to jump right into the really gruesome stuff.
Shawnee Wyatt said it perfect. The police report was like reading the most sensational crime novel. Yes.
Yes, yes, I see that now. Yes, it truly is, and like I bet you, like after all this ends, Hollywood's buying the story. They're not even going to buy the story. It's public. They're going to copy this in about 5 years when everybody's forgotten it, and you'll hear something. You'll see this movie come on, and I want you guys to come back here and say, "Oh my gosh, they made a movie out of this." When you see one, because this isn't real life. This is no
But
real life I've ever seen.
You know, when it first happened, I thought the YouTube streets would blow up with this story.
Mm-hmm.
And you rarely see anything about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was on one channel one night, one day, and the guy was going to talk about it. And I put in chat, I knew her. She was my neighbor and went to school with my kids.
Oh, that's right. See. I've already forgotten that she's your neighbor. Where'd my notepad go?
And he had me call in.
Mm-hmm.
And then another person contacted me through email asking me if they could interview me for a documentary. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, I talked to you guys about it. I did talk to a couple other of people that I was close to on their channels. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about it a bit, but no one picked it up. No one stuck with it. Um, it was like I would talk about it and then I wouldn't see anything about it. And then when I came onto your channel, we were talking about it and Divinity.
Mm-hmm.
And then that right after we were talking about it here, that Kurt thing,
Oh
I
yeah.
saw he did something on it.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
And I'm like,
Um,
huh, wonder where he got that idea from.
yeah, you're right. Um, this is well. First of all, I want to. I want to give you full credit here, and I want everybody to remember, Yaya. There's no reason for her and her story to not just like shoot off into space because it is you don't have this and I don't know of any other case, any other big case. Of course, this is like you said, it's not a big case so far,
So far.
which amazes me. But it is a you're the only person that's out there that says, "Hey, I know all these things. I've had this affect my life in so many ways," and I've never seen that in any other type of case, where someone's been able to say, "Oh my gosh, like this is in my neighborhood," type of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you. It is very humbling, and I thank you again for coming on here because I know that in a few months you're gonna be so big. It's gonna be like I'm gonna be like, man, I used to know Yaya. Do you remember when Yaya was on the stream, honey?
Never
Uh,
leave your channel. This is my safe spot. Remember that.
hey, I love it. I love it. I love you, and I appreciate you. Uh, but let's. I was saying earlier. I wish I'd written down the different counts because this is the part where I love history. Okay, like I love going to old battlefields, stuff like that, and I try to think to myself what it was like to be that person out there in 1776. We'll say, that's 240 years ago. You got men fighting with muskets over an idea. The idea is democracy, or not democracy, but the idea was rights for man instead of given to you by a king. You're born with them, all these great things. It's like you didn't know what was going on. There's no internet, there's no cell phones, anything like that. So I want to take that type of thinking and be like, the night that this happened, and the first step is that you have these two 20-year-olds, even though he looks like a kid, man. He looks like I thought he was in high school. Like
No, they're 20, they're 25. They're the same age as my kids. My oldest.
oh wow. So mid 20s, these people full blown adults, and they thought, hey, would you like to spice up our love life a little bit? Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
geez.
What's on mine? Let me bring over some chains.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, like whatever you I'm big on as long as your kink is kosher. It doesn't involve hurting people. hurting animals, hurting children, anything like that. It doesn't expose anybody to anything. Just keep it in your bedroom. That's fine. But I've never thought to myself, I need to be choked like this.
They actually, from my understanding, I could be wrong on this. I'm not positive but from what I think I read,
Mm-hmm.
they used those dog collars with the that you put on like vicious dogs. They have the
Oh
poking.
yeah, yeah. They're like choke collars or
Yes.
pincher
Yeah, a choke
collars. Yeah,
collar. Yeah. Yeah.
they had those.
Yeah.
I know exactly what kind they had. I've had both the choke collar and for dogs. Everybody settle down. I've had for my dogs the choke chain and the other one is the pincher. It looks like teeth in it, and that like for a dog because as puppies and stuff like their moms pick them up by that little thick area on their neck, and so the pincher it really literally feel like a pinch to a dog. It's very unpleasant, but it doesn't hurt them. And I've got a blue tick coonhound. If she doesn't have a pincher on, you can't take her for a walk. And even with that, she pulls you the whole time. But I wouldn't want one on my neck.
No, no.
uh
I got a little Papillon and we have a bark collar for
huh.
them. And there's 3 levels on it. You can sound the beep, a little buzz, and then a little shock. I refuse to use the shock on him unless he takes off running on
Mm-hmm.
me, or like one time at night, he took off when we first got him. We didn't know where the hell he went.
Yeah.
It's dark outside. He's a black little dog, black and white. And, so I just hit that buzzer once. I heard him yelp. I knew exactly where he was. I went and got him,
That's
you know,
awesome.
but,
That's awesome.
but going back to this, yeah, though, I don't care what everybody's into.
Mm-hmm.
You can do what you want in your own, the confines of your home, your bedroom and stuff. But she took it a little too far.
She
And
did.
I want to address something in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Pearl Girl,
Yeah.
she was saying, and then Lori Davis also, they both said it. It's amazing that this case hasn't blown up bigger because the perpetrator is actually a female and not a male.
Oh. So you think see, I see
I'm
the Laurie Davis thing right here. It's strange as well having a female that did this horrific crime.
And
It's
it's
not
not out there
usual.
more. Yeah, and it's more unusual for a female than a male. So I'm surprised that it hasn't gotten more.
Oh, see, to me, that makes it a better story.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but do you think we've jumped that shark now of political correctness where we're afraid to say that,
No.
or do you think it's just really just some things are just odd? That
Well,
you
like
can
like
have.
Blue Pearl just said, if it was a man, it would have been all over.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see that. Yes. Oh, it talked about. Oh man, you're right. Like I can see that in my mind. Like you'd have 2020 or Dateline or whatever, and it'd be like domestic abuse and all this. You have specialists on there about it and everything, and they talk about how. They run the whole gambit. They have those stories in the can ready to go. What they should do is run those same stories, but just point out, hey, it happens both ways.
Yeah.
Uh, I had a law professor that was a public defender, and she said, and God, man, she was tough. Oh my gosh, when I say tough, like she'd have gotten in the ring with Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali probably would have jumped out. She was just nothing, water parted when she walked near it because they were scared of her. And she said, guys, I'm going to tell you flat out. I'm sorry, it's going to upset everybody in here because you're not taught this. But over in the public defender's office, what you have is men get charged, but you better believe that by the time they get charged, the woman's beat the hell out of him a bunch of times. And I'm like, what? Like, what?
Mhm.
And she said it is so
Yep.
sad. Men don't call the police when they're, because like, it's like, she's like, I don't, I guess it's pride or something, but she's like, uh, what will happen is, and she went on to say, like, this is why they go back to each other when they get out of jail. She's like, it's, they beat up. One night he beats her up. One night she beats him up. And one night one of them just gets tired of it, and they finally do call the law. And that's when somebody gets arrested. It said,
That happened to my younger brother.
"Oh wow,
His ex-wife used to abuse the shit out of him. He
oh
wouldn't
my
say
gosh,
anything about it. And one night she was supposed to be home with their kids and hit the bars. And he came back to the house and he was pissed. So he locked all the doors and used the chain locks on them.
mm-hmm,
And so she couldn't get in and she was banging on the doors, making so much noise. So he was trying to open the door and she had her arm stuck in it and he's like, get your arm out of the door. He kept telling her, get your arm out of the door.
mm-hmm."
She wouldn't do it so he could take the chain lock off. So he didn't slam the door on her, but he kind of like
Yeah, you're
bumped the
pushing.
door on
Yeah,
her
yeah.
to get her arm out of there. And she called the police and my brother was arrested.
Because somebody's got to go to jail. When the
Yep.
police, you do not, guys, you do not want to be in those relationships. It is not worth fighting. Like that is a. I mean, I can't even tell you how bad it is. And now they've expanded what domestic is to where it's like if your boyfriend and girlfriend, you'll see those charges come up, even if you don't live together.
Right.
If your brothers or if you're a brother and sister, it's the same way. And it's like, what? Like, that's not, your traditional domestic, you think inside a house, you're with the person. But yeah, the police, they'll take somebody to jail, and once you go down that path, it's I mean, the systems works against you. I hate to say that. And at the same time, the system is so broken because it shouldn't happen. We shouldn't live in a world where people that you love, you fight with them to the point
Yeah.
of violence,
But it's
and
good. The good thing is he kicked her to the curb. So
that's awesome. That's the greatest thing ever. That's he got out safe.
yeah.
um, but yeah, so yeah, that is a big deal. And it makes me wonder. I wonder what if she had a size advantage on him. But uh, so
I
again,
think from what I remember of her, she
mm-hmm,
was kind of, well, okay, I'm only 5'2", so everybody's tall to me. I
that
think
Bigfoot was tall.
I think Taylor was at least 5'10", 5'11", maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look at the reports.
Yeah. Let me see here. Let's see. Did it have a thing? I've got the report pulled up here in front of me. I just see if it had. Um,
I don't know how big he was.
it's. I was gonna say something.
By his picture, he looks like a little guy.
Yeah, he does. So and that's what I guess. So I'm going back to ask that is because that's count one, is so you decide it's a good idea. Well, man, again, if you're saying it's a good idea to do meth, you're not operating on all your cylinders.
Nope.
And then they get into this kink they have, and she says she she's on top of him. She says she blacks out. Am I right on that?
Yep.
And but then she goes on to say it felt good, so she didn't
Mhm.
want to stop. And it's something about like uh he would I don't know. It's weird how she describes it. It's like
Yeah, she said she blacked out and it felt so, but here's where I'm like, okay, So you black out, therefore you should not remember anything. Am I not correct on that?
Yeah,
But yet
right.
she said it felt so good I couldn't stop myself when she was choking him.
Yeah, right. So that's what. And I see. It's got to be right here. I just see this. Um, yeah. How is it? How does it feel so good that you can't stop yourself, but you're blacked out? And I think that might be there was the specific words they used. That's what I was trying to find. Is because when I read those words, the thing that came to me is, and I guess I'm going to ask for the first time just an opinion, and maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm just stupid, just let me know. But if to me, it felt like that was almost satanic. Like it was like she had no
I've
control over her body.
I've heard and seen a lot of people say stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And reality is the woman was effed up on drugs. She was smoking meth and injecting trazodone.
Mm-hmm.
She was high on drugs, higher than the sky. And I personally, in my opinion, I think she just frickin' snapped. Her mental health with the drugs, she just flipped. She flipped out.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I mean, I don't think there was anything else to do with it. I just think with her mental health and with the drugs on top of it, the girl just whacked out. I mean, she's not a mentally stable person at all. No way, no how. And you put drugs on top of that, and that's a mixture for something bad.
So you don't think there? You just think it's a huge mental health deal.
Yeah, yeah. Blue Pearl, you're right. She had a psychotic break with,
Yeah.
yes. I think she just flipped um,
I would have an easier time.
with her past history, her alleged past history. I don't know what her marriage was like. Um, was he abusive to her? I don't know. We don't know those things. Those are
Yeah.
things we don't know. Um, she was very sexually active at a very young age.
Yeah.
I do know that for a fact. I remember hearing the rumors in the neighborhood when the boys were young, and no,
I
neither
bet
one.
you
And
were always looking
no,
out the window,
neither
make
one of them.
sure.
I asked them, and neither one of them tapped that shit. So no,
I was
I had to ask them.
you were the mom that was always looking out the window, making sure who was out there with your kids.
Yes.
Make sure there wasn't that girl out there. Um, so what we were saying, I found on the report or on the complaint that it says Schabusiness stated, and this is a direct quote, y'all. So for the tubes, and before anybody gets upset on the internet here, this is from the Brown County, Wisconsin District Attorney's complaint on Taylor Schabusiness. Schabusiness stated she could feel the victim's heart beating still as she was choking him. So she kept pulling and choking him harder. But the victim would not die, and he kept rebuilding into muscle. And I'm like, that was the weirdest thing, rebuilding into muscle. I don't understand, what that means even. And that's where I guess I'm like asking, like, you know, and you guys are telling me now that it was a psychotic break. And I understand that. That makes a lot more sense to me. But
I
it's
mean,
just
but
like,
she admitted to all. You remember now, she admitted to all of this And she was found at her home with blood all over her, with
Yeah.
parts of him in her car. So there's no denying she did what she did.
Here's the part we were talking about earlier, Yaya. Let's see here. Schabusiness made comments that she blacked out while choking the victim, but when she woke up, that the victim was already purple, so she kept going. I don't even know if I can break that sentence down. I
No,
mean,
that doesn't make sense to me.
um,
But then again, I've never had that type of a psychotic break either, or I've never been in that. I've never done drugs like that. I don't understand it.
yeah, and I don't know if we're this. I think, and let me ask you again, this opinion. Is this the part where you said that you loved the true crime, you loved all the mystery stuff, the cold cases and everything? Is this the part that draws people in because you just maybe we aren't meant to understand it, but it seems like you want to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, because I just I don't know. I don't understand any of this stuff. Uh, But
You know,
this is another one that got me was she asked if they knew what it was like to love something so much that you kill it, and I just thought that was like trying to normalize what she had done.
and just to reiterate that they did do 2 competency hearings
I can't
for
believe
her,
that. Mm-hmm.
and she was found competent. They did 2 separate exams and she was found competent. And I think, in my opinion, the reasoning behind that is because of those sentences right in there
Mm-hmm.
where she said she blacked out, but yet she remembers what she did. And if she blacked out and came to when he was, quote, purple, she still proceeded to do 2 or 3 hours of essay on him and then dismember him.
Gosh, and the it's not easy. I mean, I can't imagine that. Okay, like I mean just I don't know. I'm speechless. Y'all got me in one of those times where I'm absolutely speechless. Um, let's see here. I saw here. There's a part. Oh yeah, here we go. So, should business? When I'm speechless, I like to read what other people have already written. Should business stated the plan was for her to bring all the body parts with her, but she got lazy
Yeah.
and only ended up putting the leg, foot in the van, and she forgot the head. I mean, this is word for word. That is a sentence in the fifth claim against her. It's on page 6. If anybody wants to see that, I'm not making this up. I'm not being gruesome. This is
It's
in
the truth.
the yeah. This is 100% the truth. Now, um, earlier I said I like to put myself in the feet of other or in the shoes of others to. I, I said in the feet of other made me think. She put the foot in her van,
Yep.
but in the shoes of others, I can't imagine. For y'all that don't know, and she decapitated this guy. I mean,
Yep.
she's for 3 hours after this. She had sex. However, she
I think she did that before she um
uh,
Cut him up.
mu- yeah.
Yeah. So, which I'm like, how does that even work? But I mean, she admits to she had, rubber phallics.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be correct here. Um,
Toys.
Toys, yeah, and it's like, what? There is a level of, I don't know. I mean, sex is a messed up thing if it gets you to that level. Um, I just again, you can tell I'm stuttering. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say at all. And then she decapitated him, but then she also cut off his genitalia,
Mm-hmm.
and she put them both in a bucket. And I just imagine that had to be, I mean, unbelievable.
Well, I want to know. Sorry, I'm eating a popsicle because I don't want to smoke.
That is awesome. I'm talking
Um,
about this and you're eating a popsicle. That makes me feel
and
so much better. I mean, I cannot tell you how much, like, that right there is karma. That makes me feel so good because I've been so worried to ask you questions. And it's like, if you can handle a popsicle while talking about this, then I'm relaxed.
I'm
That is
no,
awesome.
I'm good with any questions because you got to understand, even though I knew her when she was younger, she grew up in my neighborhood. She called me mom, her brother did. Um, I knew her brother a lot better. Um, she still did this.
Yeah.
And even if she was my child, they have to pay for what they've done. There's no, I'm sorry, but this is a horrific crime. And the victims was Shad's mom, his family, his siblings, her family, including her father and her brother, aunts and uncles. They're all these people are victims to what she did.
Yeah.
And there's a very, I don't want to say this, but I have to say it. There's no way to prove it just from talking with my son. There is a probability that AJ took his own life because of this.
And that's something, I mean, that's horrible. And I
There's
remember
no proof that that's what happened.
we
He,
talked the night that you found out about that, didn't we?
yeah,
I remember feeling horrible that night for you. And it's one of those things you, I don't know, maybe it's TV, movies. They've warped us into thinking all these crazy outlandish ideas because again, you try to justify that, right? Like why did this person do this? There's always a justification. And when so close to this tragic event that happened with his sister, I can't imagine. I mean, there had to be so much he was going through.
he was going through hell. I
Yeah.
know that. I didn't talk to him, but he knew I was there for him. My son told him. My son talked to him a lot. They worked together. They're best friends, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he had just bought the motorcycle. There were no skid marks.
Mm.
Um, he told me when he came up by me that 4th of July weekend, he and I talked. I asked him, do you think it was intentional? And he looked at me straight in my eyes and he started crying and he said, Mom, if it wasn't intentional, it would have happened sooner than we think.
Oh gosh.
This young man was being put through hell because of what his sister did and the allegations his father is facing. He and his mother's gone. The only thing I can say positive about this whole situation is AJ is now with his mom.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing positive I can say.
Yeah. Um, this goes full circle back to what we said about how life is precious and you can never give up. And what you just said, like, even if he didn't intentionally do this, it would have happened. You guys, please, if anybody's listening to this that knows somebody or something else, people are always willing to talk. And all you ever have to do, the few times I've ever had to ask for help, I've gotten it. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it could be, will you help me move my couch? It's amazing how people are willing and they want to help. And if you're down the gutters and you feel awful and lonely and stuff, please reach out there and somebody will listen and somebody's there to help you. And this is, and if you know anybody, and make sure even people that you don't know, if you just look at their life and you say, God, man, that's a lot of stuff going on, reach out and talk to them and let them know that they can talk to you. It's all the difference in the world. I mean, I'll tell you guys, you see it every night with me right here. I love talking on this channel. Everybody makes me feel better. And I love, because of this, I got to meet somebody amazing like Yaya. And who would ever think that something like this is just, just, there's, everybody's out there to help you. Don't believe all the bad negativity. So I just,
I had to go on a live tonight
mm-hmm,
and inform my subscribers that one of our dear friends passed away today
mm-hmm,
from cancer. She was only fighting it for like, maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe, if that.
mm-hmm,
Um, and the one thing she hated the most was hate and bullying. And she has been by my side from day one on my channel. So when I got up there today to let them know that Renee passed away today,
mm-hmm.
I said, for God's sake, people, you don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. I talked to her yesterday on the phone for an hour,
Yeah.
and you don't know if you're going to be alive tomorrow or not. You don't know. So for the love of God, stop all this hate, this
Yeah.
bullying in memory of her. Please just stop this shit.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. I
It's to the point where it's in my 56 years of life. I know I'm off course here, but I have to say it. I have never in my life experienced such negative hate, disgust, and called names the way I have been on YouTube.
It's weird, isn't it?
And I look at Taylor's life, what she all endured was not good. But Is that an excuse for her to do what she did? Absolutely not.
Um, let
You
me.
know, and go ahead, ask me anything. I don't care.
Well, it's funny. I have two things that are going through my mind, and one is I almost said, and I'm gonna before we get off, I'm gonna bring this up. Is I want to know just about you. Okay, I want just I'm gonna ask you some happy questions, and we're gonna end up on a good note. Before that happens, though, I want to make sure that everybody is satisfied and gets to know this. So, because there will be more questions tomorrow, there will be more questions as the stream comes in. We talked about how the Summer Wells stuff. For instance, like I looked one day on like my analytics stuff, right? And it's like videos that bring people in or search terms that bring people to your channel. Summer Wells. And I'm like, well, why is that? I look back in some videos that like from like months and months and months ago. Like I had like maybe like 20 views on these videos, right? All of a sudden I had like 650. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you can tell something got big. So I want to make sure that while I've got you, I don't lose every question gets asked. Is there anything in the chat that y'all would like to ask Yaya? And no, we're not asking pants or no pants because we already know the answer. Um, but so for Green Bay, and I want to make sure I get this right. You said like it's not really it wasn't a shocking thing or it is a shocking thing.
Oh, it's shocking
Yeah.
for
But
this
like
area. Oh,
okay.
God, yes. But okay, and maybe it's because I don't leave the house
Yeah.
that I don't hear people talking about it. Um, it's on the news, I don't watch the news.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sure, like, I know that they, every time she's probably had like a court appearance, they've had it on the news. Yes, I've seen it on the internet, and but like when well, for an example, like when we go glampering, okay.
Yes.
Um, if I ask somebody, did you hear about the Schabusiness case in Green Bay? And they're like, no, what is that about?
Mhm.
And a lot of these people only live maybe an hour or so outside of Green Bay, or or some of them were in Green Bay and well, we're not hear about it.
Mhm.
And so for me, it's like this is a serious, I mean, this to me is a serious issue. Something happened with this girl on top of the drugs, everything, mental health. I guess that's where I'm trying to go with this. Mental health.
Yeah.
It needs to be addressed more. I mean, people need to understand it more. No, it doesn't give people the right to do what they do to others. No, not at all.
Is there anything that like in your community that you wish it was different that may have helped her? I mean, it was like, did society turn a blind eye to a little girl that needed help? Or is it just one of the things where it's so shocking that you have no idea? There's nothing that.
It wasn't so much as, I don't think it was so much as society. It was family turned a blind eye to it. And she never received the proper treatment she probably needed when she was younger.
Okay.
Um,
It's amazing to me. I mean, it's a curse, but it's also a blessing that we live in a time where there really is a pill for that, for a lot of things. Now, does that get abused? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Um, but a lot of times with mental health things or mental health claims, uh, people will say, it's kind of aggravating to me. So, like, if was it I can't think of one recently, but they'll always say, like, if there's like one like that shooter down in Uvalde, um, like they'll be like, oh, well, had mental health problems. Oh, he was on this type of antipsychotic. That type of antipsychotic. Everybody's on it. Everybody who does this type of thing is on that type of antipsychotic. Well, here's the thing: there are millions of people on that don't do those things every day, and that just shows to you like how much it does help people. It helps a lot of people live a normal life, but you have to be aware of the signs, and you also have to be. Our society is not accepting for mental health. Uh, we need we need more therapists. We need more psychiatrists, and we don't need to have that stigma attached with it.
It,
Uh,
you just raised a very good point there. A couple years back, I was going through some stuff,
mm-hmm,
and there were no available therapists in our area for me.
Isn't that crazy? I hate that.
Because my ex-husband actually, before the C started, he worked for one of the local um, healthcare organizations in this area. And he was actually a recruiter for doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always say to him, get out there and get some therapists, psychiatrists, decent ones in this area. You know what he said to me?
What's
I'm
that?
trying, but nobody wants to move to Wisconsin. And because of the cold, when they can get paid just as much to go live somewhere else with better weather.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
Oh, I know.
And it's, you know, it's whacked out around here because we have Aurora medical, uh, medical, whatever you call it,
Mm-hmm.
in the word, Bell and Health. We have Prevea. We've got a couple other ones, and I can go to any one of those healthcare providers in our area with my insurance.
Mm-hmm.
It's covered,
Yeah.
and none of them.
It's oh no. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable. And unfortunately, that's why the old um, stereotype that a bartender is a therapist, also,
Yep.
and that's not a healthy way to be. I mean, yeah, the bartender's great. You've got somebody there that you're talking to, and if you're a regular, they kind of get to know you and stuff about your problems and everything. It's, I mean, was it Cheers? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Yep.
The problem is that you're using alcohol as a self medication, and that's where it just kind of snowballs into everything. Um, you and we don't just. I don't know what it's going to take. When you're talking about people moving to a place with better weather, to live and stuff.
And this is why Wisconsin is the most drunkest state in the country. Seriously.
Oh, it's funny.
Damn serious. There's a bar on every corner.
Wisconsin's got the gosh, it's just everybody about Wisconsin. I just love. I love the area. I love the snow sports. It used to be you could drive your snowmobile bar to bar, right?
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's just so cool to me.
you can
Um,
you can get picked up for drunk driving on your snowmobile now.
yeah, it used to not be, which is funny.
Well, I know that.
I mean, can you imagine just, like taking off of your snowmobile to go to the store? That just seems so cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
we used to go we'd go up north for girls' weekends
mhm.
and to a certain area and we'd go to all the same bars and we'd get on snowmobiles and we would go from bar to bar across lakes and it all and we'd be so drunk,
Mhm.
you know, and that was just the way it was. You don't people still do it today, but they're taking a lot of more risks today.
Yeah, yeah, they are. I mean, it's it's funny. I've had of course, whenever I find a good data set, like I'm amazed by it. I read it and everything. Do I make a copy? Do I put it somewhere? I'll be able to find it. Of course not. And I found it was Tennessee had it was the state troopers, like going back to like 1952 was like the first year they started putting down DUIs as a cause of death for traffic accidents. It's like every year you could see when they dropped the blood alcohol level to get pulled over, the DUI deaths dropped for a year, and then but they continue they're always the same percentage of death involved in cars, and it's so funny that honestly I would imagine a snowmobile is safer than a car because you're not on the main streets. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just it seems like it's. I remember I have family in Wisconsin, and when they banned uh, drinking and snowmobiling, I was like, oh man, that seems they just said it was like such a tradition in Wisconsin. The whole thing blew my mind because here I am. I'm from Tennessee. I haven't seen snow in about 4 years. Um, but
Well, you missed my comment in your chat then last night. Was it last night, White Rabbit?
oh, what would you ask?
Well, I want my dream is to come stay in Tennessee. And I there's something about Tennessee, Nashville
Oh,
I just
Nashville's
love.
not. Yeah,
And I've been trying to get there for a vacation.
mm-hmm.
And I've been there overnight
Yeah.
on our way to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd stop in the Nashville area.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I went to Nashville, I was so excited. And I woke up the next morning and there was snow on the ground. And I
Oh
was
wow.
pissed.
Yeah, you had to be you brought the snow with you. It's
Yeah,
like
we did.
Nashville. Nashville has like one snowplow. Um, they can't drive in. I mean, the whole city shuts down. Nashville used to be my town. I lived there in law school, and I wanted to live there so bad. And I left law school and went back like 2 years later, maybe 3 years at the most. Uh, and I went back. I was like, "What happened? What is all this?" And Nashville's just it's lost its Nashville. It's really sad.
I've heard
Uh,
that.
but um, yeah, West Tennessee. I mean, golly, man, that's your old. Everything about the old South is in West Tennessee, and then East Tennessee. It's just become. Uh, I don't know. Everything seems to be Dollywood's. All people talk about or know about if they're not from here.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. The whole thing's weird.
Oh,
But
she said I was talking about it on my stream. Okay.
oh okay. Um.
Yeah, the
Uh.
history. I'm a history buff also.
Mhm.
Um, okay, few things you don't know about me. I'm a history nut when it comes to uh touring and knowing about the South.
Mhm.
I am a paranormal freak.
Mhm.
I'm into the paranormal. I used to do paranormal investigations.
Oh wow.
Um, So yeah, those are two things that some of the people in here know about that, but I
Um,
love, like, one of my favorite things to watch now on YouTube
mhm.
is abandoned mansions and castles.
Oh, crazy.
They have several of them, different creators. They go and they find these like mansions and castles. A lot of them are like in Europe, and it's like the people walked out of their house 30 years ago, whatever. Some of these places were built in the 1800s, were kept up for so long, and it's like people just left.
Hmm.
All their clothes are still there, dishes are on the table, like they just got up and walked out of their house with leaving everything, pictures, portraits, furniture, at their whole houses still intact. And these houses are abandoned and
That's
corroding and
so
falling
crazy.
down. And that's been what I've been doing a lot of watching
That's
lately.
so crazy. Um, yeah, the abandoned houses. It's funny. Uh, when I got out of law school, worked for
Frozen
the.
in time, Blue Pearl Girl. Yep, that's it. Frozen in
Was it
time.
Frozen in Time?
That's
Oh
what they
wow,
call these houses. They're frozen in time.
I'm writing that down.
That's not the name of the channel. I can get them to.
Yeah, but I bet if I look Frozen in Time up, it'll start showing those, right?
Just watch abandoned. Just go search abandoned mansions.
Mansions.
I know checking convictions actually lives in the same area. Um,
And she's
and
in Minnesota.
yeah, so we're just a state away, but
Hmm.
we have a lot in common because I also um am an advocate for the wrongly convicted.
Hmm.
And there's a case here that I've been following for years, and that's where she was. She was just up here.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
and I couldn't get up there for it, or I would have been
Uh-huh.
there. And
What's the name of that case there? I keep forgetting
the
it.
Stephen Avery case.
Stephen Avery. So y'all, again, and I put y'all, I put your link in my in the description for tonight, and I think you're also in my channels. If you go to my channels, my channels. If you're not, you will be. Uh, I have a natural ability to click things and it not click. I like I'll click it. It'll have the check mark or whatever. It'll show, so it should show that your channel has been added. And then I close out. I'm like, wait, where did that channel go? And I was doing that the other night, and finally I just gave up. I'm sorry.
I love you too, checking.
I have to clarify for everybody that I am as stupid as I act. So, Stephen Avery, yeah, that was the one in Wisconsin. What happened after that? Was the
They're
it was
still in jail.
okay. It was a protest up there. Why was that date chosen?
Checking can probably give you more information on that. Since the sea hit, a lot of stuff is
Yeah.
at a standstill. Um, was that why was that date chosen? I'm trying to remember. I know last year, the year before, it was on Dolores. It's his mother's anniversary of her death or something like
Okay.
that. I don't remember the anniversary, if that's why it was this year.
Oh, and that reminds me, there's a new documentary on HBO about a
Oh, it was Stephen's
murder.
birthday. Okay.
Oh, it's Stephen's birthday. Okay, Stephen Avery. It's his birthday. So I'm gonna write that down. That's where that protest was. Um, there
And
is.
the anniversary. Okay, and the anniversary of Mama's death. Okay.
Oh, they're the same day.
Uh, nah, I don't know if it was was it the same day or like a day apart?
Oh
Birthday
wow,
week. Yeah, okay.
birthday week. That's so weird. There is a case, and I'm going to have this totally wrong, I know. But like the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court has only done one murder case. And it was about a guy that's in Chattanooga, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. And it's I've been told, oh, you got to read this book and stuff. I don't even know the name of the case, so I wouldn't even know what to look for. But evidently, there's a book about it, and it was all he was wrongly convicted. And like that's supposed to be like one of the most famous
Oh, you're
cases
talking
ever.
about uh, she was one of Catherine Zellner's. Um, what's his name? Checking Ryan. Ryan, the one whose friend made the story up saying they killed this guy, the reporter guy,
It sounds like it, yeah.
and his dad fought and fought and fought and fought for him. Kathleen Zellner, she Ryan Ferguson, thank you, was
Hmm.
at the Ryan Ferguson case.
I don't know. I'm here. Let me
Uh,
look.
Dream Killer is the movie. Yes, thank you.
But y'all know everything. I love this.
I told you I'm huge into this shit.
Yeah, you are. You really are. See, I can't even. When I typed in like I did U.S. Supreme Court murder case, see if it was the same name I was thinking that you were saying, and all I get is capital punishment. So I mean, it's horrible. Uh, if you're into history and cases and all that, I have been to Dayton, Tennessee, where the Scopes monkey trial was held. uh, what a great claim to fame, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so, but anyway, you said you love history, Southern history, and you love paranormal.
Hmm.
So, what is about Southern history you like?
Just the way people used to live,
Yeah.
and their the plantations, and um you know the
Uh, that whole like what do they call it?
I don't know how to explain it. um
Antebellum.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. When I went to Louisiana once, a friend of
Yes.
mine took me to, I think it was called the Thousand Oaks Plantation.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I think what with that, what's you put that with the paranormal together, and that's where I get like wound up. And so we went there and toured this plantation, and they still had some of the slave houses off to the side. And, you know, I'm from the North,
Yeah.
born and raised. I'm a full blooded Yankee. Hate me, love me. I don't care.
Uh oh.
But um, seeing and trying to understand all that from history,
Trying to. It's
comprehend it.
yeah. It, it's so much deeper than what you could get in school. And when you go see any of those things for the first time, to me, it just blows you away.
Shani just said Southern history is fascinating when you grow up in the Midwest. Exactly. I don't know how to explain it or why to explain it, but
It's just
it's
the way it is.
fascinating.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I can't explain it. It's a fascination with me. I love seeing the big homes, um, but even I go back to history, back to the 1800s, England,
Mm-hmm.
Europe.
Yeah.
Even that stuff fascinates me too.
What's fascinating about it, it's an easy step back to realize that, I mean, people lived like this for, I mean, we'll say 1,000 years. I mean, we start talking about European history and stuff, especially wealthy. Like the castles are still there, right? You can see
Yep.
this stuff, and we're if you take away electricity, you're right back to that time. I mean, could you imagine? It's hard to think of like living your life without electricity. I mean, it's like, oh well, your phone's gone. Your depending if you have an electric car, your car's gone. You're not. You can't. When you take a bath, has to be at a certain time. Everything you do has to be is based around light, and it's just, I don't know, the whole. It's easy to take that step back, and even like if you get to like settlers in the United States, Tennessee, you can still see some of the places, especially if you go to the Great Smoky Mountains. Um, that was like the wild. That was the first. That was America's first frontier. You know,
Yeah. Savannah, do
and
you really want me to answer that question?
this one.
Yeah.
Oh well, so when you said that, that was the other thing I was gonna say, is that my wife is fascinated with I don't know if fascinated is the right word or not, but yeah, I mean she spooks me out.
Yeah,
Like
I have seen ghost apparitions. Yes, I have. I don't have a I don't call it a gift.
mhm.
I have seen them.
Describe that.
I've felt them around me, but I don't talk to them or carry on conversations with them or anything like that. But yeah, I have.
When you say you have, do you want to, like, my open ended question is describe that. So, and I guess I'm asking like, did
Describe an
a
experience.
yes, yes.
Um, let's see. The first time I was 20,
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Dallas, Texas at the time on my
Mm-hmm.
own with some friends that I had met there when I moved there by myself.
So you're a Cowboys fan.
No, absolutely not.
You know I had to. You know I did that on purpose, right?
Yeah, I know.
I love you.
And and one of my ex-boyfriends from here had moved down, had been living down in Texas, and we ended up reconnecting. And make a long story short, we got into a huge fight one night because he was wasted on drugs or I don't know what. And I took his car keys from him, and he slapped me across the face for doing that. And I was up in my apartment. I was crying. I was upset. And I sat up on my bed and I could see out into the living room. And that's when we had those ivy plants that you would hang from the ceilings, you
Yes.
know. And I looked out into the living room and I saw this figure of a guy kneeling in my living room praying, Heidi, go home. Heidi, go home. He had on an Argyle sweater. He looked just like my brother, my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
Jeans that were rolled up and penny loafers on. I
Mm-hmm.
saw him in color. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember laying back down, rubbing my eyes, sit back up. He's still there. I did this like 3 times. I thought something happened to my brother. We didn't have cell phones back then.
Yeah.
So I ran down to the payphone and called my mom, Collect, and told her what happened. Because I first I said, "Is Buddy okay? Is he okay? Is he okay?"
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Yeah, what's going on?" I told her what happened. My mother had a brother at the age of 18
Mm-hmm.
who is very religious, and he drowned at a church outing in like a whirlpool thing in a lake. It just
Yeah.
sucked him in. And he has, when my mom went through her divorce, and for years she'd see him sitting at the end of her bed. Many of my aunts and uncles have also seen him.
Oh
And
wow.
the only answer, and he looked like my brother looks a lot like he did. I never met him. He died before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing we can think of is that it was him telling me to get my shit together because I was not going down a right path in life at that time. I packed my shit up and moved back home.
Chat, who has goosebumps besides me? Please tell me somebody else is chilled right now. Like the hair on my arms is standing straight up. My legs, same thing. I mean, this is, oh man. Okay,
Yeah,
real quick question because this is gonna you've blown my mind now. Does anybody know what the YouTube terms are on ghost stuff? Because I'm thinking
I don't think there
Saturday.
are any.
Oh, I'm thinking Saturday night needs to be an open chat about paranormal stuff. I
I
mean,
love the paranormal.
we've had enough talks about that on this channel that I think this needs to happen. I don't have a Saturday night show because tomorrow night do ladies night, Friday night do Friday night live, and usually Saturday I'm just exhausted and a lot of stuff's going on. But now I'm thinking we need to do a paranormal. Um, this is unbelievable.
Um,
Uh,
Purple,
eh,
you say you be out that door so fast, but the problem is you're actually kind of paralyzed because you don't believe what you're seeing. Does that make sense? It's like the first time you think you see it and you're like, what the hell? What the hell?
well,
And then I lay back down, I sit back up, I see it. But is it real? I could see the plant hanging. I could see the plant through it. You know what I mean? Through him. And you rub your eyes and you're like, what in the hell? What the hell is that? And then after
uh,
the third time, you're right. I got the hell out of there. It's
that's
kind of like it's a, I don't know how to say it. It's like you're stunned. You kind of like you're in a fog. Like, am I really seeing that, or is my head playing tricks on me? Um,
do you
you don't.
do you have any reference of time
You
when
got a
this?
bot in your room right now spelling out the N
Oh
word. You need to get
jeez.
rid of it,
Oh
mods.
jeez. Yeah, they're mods. Rabbit, you're over there. Where is this? Hang on. Where's my thing? Yeah, get this.
You need to.
See.
You should mod me up, man. I
Yeah,
love.
where are you?
I'll say something
Oh wait, hang on here. I don't know which one to do. Oh,
there.
hate space. Hate space. Okay, where are?
I just said hi.
Okay, hang on here. You said hi. Wait.
Carlos
There you go.
Martinez
There you go.
terminated again. I don't know who that is.
Oh, checking convictions got him.
Okay.
Thank you, convictions. Oh wow, that was
I
fast.
just looked up at the chat and I'm like, because I have you, I'm actually on my phone with
Yeah,
you.
when you said that, I saw it too. Wow. So I've got this set to you have to be a subscriber to put messages up, and I did that hoping that would take care of these bots, and evidently that doesn't anymore. Thanks YouTube for fixing
Thank
that
you.
problem. Yeah, YouTube next will they'll be like, oh, you got illegal content. I'm like,
Oh, Lori, he is a known troll. Okay.
oh, that is somebody known. Oh, well, good. Let's just keep reporting.
Block. You need to block it is what you got to do. There it is again. I don't think you
Jeez.
have it on subscriber mode. Subscriber mode only.
Is it not?
I don't think so.
Hang on a second. That's going to be changed here real quick. Oh, wait, that's not where I do it, is it? I'm so slow.
I don't even
Oh,
know how to. I don't even know how to do it on mine. I know somebody told me once, and I don't remember how to do it.
yeah, if I could ever remember how to get over to it.
He's hidden. Good. Thanks. Checking. I felt so bad for your wife yesterday. What she was in my channel.
Uh huh.
I'm sorry. I was paid to do that. Excuse me. Get the fuck out of here.
What? Who said this?
The same guy. They changed their name. If you
Okay.
hide them, they'll change their name and keep coming back. And he just said, I'm sorry, I was paid to do that.
All right. How do I edit
Yeah,
video
they're new accounts.
customization? All right. Yeah, this is for subscribers. We're gonna have to be. So I did for any duration. We're gonna do a 5-minute subscriber. Maybe that will slow down. Yeah,
There you go.
that was crazy. I was paid to do that. Nobody comes in there and says that. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I was paid to do that. Really? Who
Yeah.
paid you then? Then who paid you?
Well, they won't be able to answer for 5 minutes.
Yeah. They're not going to anyway.
Yeah, it's like the one that comes in yours. Yeah, bright purple. Now, I had somebody come in. There's a clip channel that's out for blood on Purple and I think we pretty much narrowed it down to who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they came into my channel yesterday and somebody did ask me how I felt about the expert being this, saying that you were this clip channel.
Okay.
And I, and then they came in and asked, your Rabbit didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, Rabbit, how do you feel about your husband putting up, bashing women and putting videos up about his subs, his female subs? And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, it ain't no way it's the expert. There ain't no way. He don't have time for that crap.
Putting up videos of my female subs. Like,
Yeah, they were trying to accuse you of being their name is Exhibit A.
uh-huh.
And it's somebody who is just making shit up.
Oh, let me tell you what. Hang on here. I love this because I get to brag now. Okay, so look at this. I'm gonna go to my studio. I haven't looked at my numbers in a few days, so I'm not gonna pull them up or anything. Go through the whole stream here, but let's see. Let's go down here to analytics and audience. Let's see what my audience is now. I'm be upset here if I don't have it. Let's see here. Oh no, yeah. This is devastating news.
Oh no.
The other day, my viewership was 84% female. Today, it's 82.1%.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I
It's it's just they're just trolls.
yeah, absolutely are. I'm sitting here going like, there's no way. I mean, trust me, my numbers. I am not. I mean, I love women. I absolutely love it. And like you said, this is your safe place. Checking says that all the time. It's their safe place. Yeah, absolutely. Just you come in here. It's no BS. I don't make drama up, and we have fun. And it's
Yeah,
that's
we
so
laugh.
hard. It's so hard for dudes and everybody to figure that out. I'm like, all you have to do is just not be an ass to everybody.
Yeah,
And
Jules.
um,
Yeah.
you have an idea of who? Oh,
Well,
that's great.
we know who Exhibit A is. Look at Savannah. I love her. I love Savannah. She is my buddy.
Awesome. Awesome. Uh,
She's got the swords going there. She goes, "I'm ready." And I mean,
uh,
I know it wasn't you, and I'm just like, why are you trying to pick on the expert? Because what, you know that I've said that's my safe place to go, you know?
yeah. Well, it's weird. It's here's my thing. It's like it's a compliment to me because now I'm big enough where I'm on somebody's radar, and I have like I'm the smallest channel there is. you know, it's funny. But like convictions just said it's like 56% of the people on her channel are not subbed. This is something else I say this, I'm not bragging. I am so incredibly humbled by this. And these numbers have gone down too in the last 28 days. But of course, I also had a big uptick. So for watch time from viewers, 74% are subscribers.
That's great.
I mean, last week it was 80 some percent. I think it was 85%. I was like, because it was 15% were not subbed, and I was like, that's an anomaly. Like, I can't make that any higher. And I brought that up somewhere, and they said, like, they watch on their TV and they're not signed in on their TV. They're like, I'm sitting here answering you on my phone, but listening to you on the TV. It said, that's a lot of time I'm on the TV. I'm not subbed. I'm not signed in that there. So it's like that number's even higher. It blows my mind. I'm so fortunate. I'm so humbled by it. But I'm sorry that some ass derailed us there. I love what you're talking about, the paranormal and history together.
Hmm.
Uh, that is a huge thing. So like uh, in again, all this got started because you were talking about Tennessee and the history and paranormal activity. That's a big thing. Tennessee is the second. Let's see here. Virginia's number one state that's had battles during the Civil War. Tennessee's number two. So battlefields are always a thing about
New
paranormal activity.
Orleans. New
Oh yeah.
Orleans
Well, you got all that
is,
voodoo
I'm
and
going to
everything
tell
down there.
you, New Orleans is, if you have any type of gift, uh, do not go down
Hmm.
to New Orleans and walk through what do they call that?
The French Quarter.
The French Quarter
Hmm.
area, and walk around in that area,
Hmm.
because I'm telling you, it's freaky, but I
Uh,
love it. I love it.
that's awesome. Have you ever been to Savannah?
No, and I very, very much want to go to Savannah.
Oh, please go to Savannah.
Um,
Please make that your next
well,
destination.
what our our plans are, my husband is hoping to retire within the next 4 years,
Hmm.
and we are going to buy ourselves a little tiny one of those little drivable campers, not a motorhome,
Like a pop
but
up type or
no, the drivable ones.
okay.
It looks like a little
Oh yeah,
truck. Yeah,
yeah.
and
You can still get into like parking spaces, kind of.
yeah, and we are going to drive around the United States because I have never been to so many places
Hmm.
that I want to go to before I can't do it anymore or before I die. I hate to say it that way. Oh my God. Hey, I was paid by Channel Mr. T. Never heard of him.
Yeah, never heard of it. Why are you
Um,
telling us this, Carlos? Like, it seems weird. How much money do you make for that?
so like I want to go to Maine. I want to go where like the Kennedys lived. I
Oh
want
yeah,
to, there's so many places. DC, I don't give a shit about that crap. I don't
that
want to
is
go there.
funny.
You know what? I don't even want to see it. Um,
Really?
no, politics, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't put a bad taste in my mouth. It's just in the last couple of years, it's ruined so much, so many friendships, so many,
Mm-hmm.
things. And I am one that I don't give two shits if you're Democratic or Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I still love you. We don't
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. Um, my personal feeling is they should get rid of anything Republican, anything Democrat, wipe it all off and go all people independent. That's just how I feel.
That's what Farron was talking about last night. It's like there's a it's not Republican or Democrats inside versus outside, and
Yes.
it's really sad. Now for DC though, DC, when you talk about that history and stuff, you have to realize like Arlington National Cemetery,
Yeah.
That was Robert E. Lee's home.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, something like that. I would. Yeah.
I mean, that's just. I went to the cemetery, and I mean, yeah, I went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. You know, amazing, absolutely amazing, very humbling. You have so much pride and so much admiration for our country when you're there. Uh,
Yeah.
but I was so blown away. I didn't realize that was Robert E. Lee's home when I went, and so that I was like, what? Like I didn't realize this. So you go through the house. Had a great park ranger. Um, I think the park rangers used to be absolutely incredible. I've been noticing that they're hiring a revisionist type of park ranger. The last couple of times I've been to a national park. Um, uh, but anyway, it was like I asked the question because it shows like you go up through like where Robert E. Lee like his study and stuff, and I asked the question. They said everything's as original in there as the way Lee left it as they can make it. Uh,
Frozen in time.
yeah, frozen in time. And so
See,
I
now that
said,
I'd be interested in.
well, that's the thing. I go, is that the desk that Robert E. Lee wrote his letter to Lincoln that he would not leave Virginia and take the helm as the Union general? And the guy looks at it and he looks at me and he goes, if it's not, it's at that time period. He said it probably is. And I'm like, whoa! Like that just kind of blew my mind away because at that point it didn't have to be, the exact. They didn't have to know the exact answer because I was just like, you just got sucked into that time period.
Yes. Okay. Now you're getting me more saying, okay, yeah, maybe yeah. You know what? Now that you're talking about that, yeah, would probably interest me.
That is a great trip too because there's so many battlefields and like the Shenandoah Valley and you go to Washington and Lee. We went to Washington and Lee. We picked up our Labrador from a breeder up there, and Robert E. Lee is buried there on the campus. And I was so excited. I was like, I didn't realize like they had a big thing back then was death mask, and like there is a his death mask is in there. So it's like a plaster mask they made of him after he died, and so you get to see exactly what I mean. It's frozen in time.
Yeah.
and he's in a church, and I was so excited. I was like, this is I never would get to make this trip except for this puppy. This is so amazing. Go up there, walk across campus. It's a hot day. I mean, it was so hot. I get to the church, and there's a sign up that says closed because of the coronavirus.
Oh my gosh.
Do you ever see the movie Vacation?
Yep.
I was Clark Griswold, Wally World. I was ready to punch the moose in the face. I was like, I cannot believe this. I mean, here it is. This has withstood 150 years, and then this damn virus had shut everything down. But oh yeah, that whole area, it's really cool too. But Savannah, Georgia has to be your destination.
Yeah, that's one of my that's St. Augustine Beach checking is an awesome place too. The history
I was
there
gonna
and
say,
the
yeah, Chucky used to
paranormal.
live there.
Yep. The paranormal there and the history. Yep, that's another place. I've been there.
It's just,
I lived in Florida for 7 years
oh
in
really?
in the Orlando area.
Oh wow, that's the heart of Florida right there,
Yep, I
in
lived
the
there with
orange
my
groves.
in fact my oldest son was born there.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Hmm.
That's old Florida. That's
Yep.
people don't realize like that area. Like, if you want to find, uh, old historic Florida, it's like that area is
That
it.
area, yes.
It's just
I've been there several times.
oh wow, it's awesome. It's just awesome. Uh, I lived in Jacksonville for a while,
Oh dear
and
God, so did I. One
oh,
year,
did you
and I
really?
said, "Get me the out of here."
Yes, yes.
Oh my God, it was the worst of the worst experiences of my life.
Do you?
My ex-husband worked for a bank,
Uh huh.
and he got transferred
Hmm.
there. And we actually knew one of my close friends, sister-in-law and brother-in-law lived in Jacksonville. So we went to Jacksonville. We found a rental in the same basically neighborhood. And
So you're like closer to like downtown and stuff like that, right?
no, we
No.
were uh west side,
Oh.
go over the big bridge.
Okay.
I don't remember. It's been a
Yeah,
while,
I
but
know. Jacksonville's huge for people who haven't
yeah,
been there. It's because it's a
it's got
metropolitan government.
beautiful bridges, beautiful waterways, but if and I don't mean to offend anybody by this, please, but you'll know what I'm talking about. If you put 100 people that are originally from Jacksonville in one room, you'd be lucky to have a full set of teeth. I mean, I worked for a roofing company.
Oh gee. Oh jeez.
Oh,
I just
do I need to go any further on that one? Where
no.
we had to bail everybody out of jail on
Yep.
Monday morning?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got
Oh yeah.
chased down by a crack addict in a shopping cart when I was in my car. Um, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
Oh man. Jacksonville. So it's on the St. Johns River,
Yep.
and it's another. It's a lot. It's more old South. It's a river town, first of all. It's not a beach
I
town.
always say, is it South Georgia? It's very south. I mean, it
Yeah, it's south.
very hillbilly,
Yes.
very country. These people didn't know how to spell their own names, people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was Jacksonville was a really it was a really poor area. The only thing it
Yeah,
had was Mayport, which is the naval base.
right. I lived near there,
Oh,
down further from there.
the thing. So Mayport. I have a buddy of mine that's in the Navy, and so he said that there's two places the Navy drops you off at when you're done serving. either San Diego or Mayport. And when I was living down there, he was spent like a month in the area or something, and so we hooked up. We got together, and right off the naval base, the very first business is a strip club, and
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was just the way it was, and maybe still it may still be there. I know Jacksonville's another one of those towns. I left and came back, and I was like, I don't know where I am anymore. It has grown so much and so fast. It's probably the top destination. People are flooding Nashville, and I think they're making a mistake. They ought to go to Jacksonville. It was cheap, and it had gosh, so many people moved in there. Great roads. You're close to Georgia. Just everything around there. You'd be on a vacation in a heartbeat. Um, so yeah, I do have a Jacksonville story that I'll go with all your stuff, and then I know you probably got to go. I've kept you on here
No,
long
I'm
enough.
fine.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's the when you get me, I never ask you how long you can stay.
I'm usually up till 2, 3 in the morning, just saying.
Is that because of your insomnia?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie Fight Club?
No, I don't talk about the Fight Club.
That to me is it was one of my favorite movies, and the breakdown of insomnia. I sit there and I watch. I go, yep, uh huh, yep. Maybe if I went to one of these therapy groups that he went to.
You know, this is just one thing that I want to say. When we were driving to Florida,
Hmm.
not this year, 2 years ago, we were taking our time, and I just saw somebody say something about Alabama. That's
Hmm.
why it reminded me.
Lori.
I decided, I told my husband, I'm looking at the, you know, map, GPS.
Hmm.
I go, hey, isn't Selma in Alabama? Let's go to
Yeah.
Selma. Let's go check it out. You know, it's just like 50 mile, not even 50 miles out of our way. And we did. And you want to talk about a rough area?
Yep.
It's sad.
Did you look around and think to yourself, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah.
That's
And yes and no, because what I saw were all the boarded up businesses,
yep.
the corroded businesses that you could see the grass growing on the inside walls, in the
Hmm.
inner side of the walls. Very poor area
Yeah.
with so much history.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
we stopped at this little tiny uh, area, the grave. It was of the unknown. I can't remember, but
Probably like a Confederate
slaves or
soldier, or oh no, there's a lot of slave cemeteries.
yeah.
Uh,
And there was this little tiny store there,
mhm.
and I went in. Um, I was so out of place, but
Mhm. Oh
the
yeah.
people there were the nicest, kindest, sweetest people I have ever met. It was the week before the anniversary of the where they walked across the bridge in Selma,
Mhm.
but the what the movie's about,
Yeah.
and they had a lot of books on the history of it in there, and I just bought them all up because I couldn't get enough of it.
That's so funny.
And
Not
we just drove around for a while and we left.
a lot of people would be amazed. when you can. I mean, you can touch it. You can touch that
Hmm.
history. To
Yes,
me, let
that's
me.
what it's about.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's it.
let me dissect what it felt like you're saying.
Hmm.
Is that you're like I can still touch it. Like that's
Hmm.
just amazing to me. Um, it's yeah, that stuff it really hasn't changed either. There's been no corporation. There is
Nope.
not. It's not turned into McDonald's. Hasn't bought them up.
Nope.
It's just the way it is. So you're in
I
Selma.
wanted, yep, we went to Martin Luther King's memorial.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like you said, I remember when you just said this, we were standing in this little memorial area. There was like three African American
Mm-hmm.
males. They were killed or something, and this it was. I'll have to find my stuff, but I remember kneeling down on the ground and touching the grass
Mm-hmm.
and looking at the headstones and just the feeling I got, the sadness, the overwhelming sadness, you know what I mean? And to this day, I am so glad that I asked him to just do that one thing.
Yeah.
Let's go to Selma. I want
And
to go.
your story is funny because like I grew up in Memphis, and my dad he for he, his company he had to drive, and his territory was the southeast, and so my mom and I were always with him. Like summertime came, it was get in the car, go with dad. You know, he went to all these different places, and uh, I didn't realize. You know, I'm a little teeny tiny kid, so I don't realize the history that I would appreciate now. Maybe it's why I appreciate history so much. But all over the South is a little Selma, and
Oh, yeah.
people don't realize that. Like, and that goes back to my love of Civil War history, is because everybody is so opinionated about something. They've got it all figured out. It's all opinion and stuff. And what they don't realize is that after the war, it was just poor. The South was just poor, and it's been that way. Well, I mean, even today, I mean, it's still poor. I mean, yeah, there's some big cities, Atlanta, Nashville. Florida has money, but you can find poor places in Florida.
Oh, lots of
Um,
poor. There are lots of poor places in Florida.
yeah, yeah. I think I found about every one of them that there was too, but it's you start to realize that every generation has a struggle, and they're just trying to do the best they can with what they know and what they have at that time. And for a lot of people, uh, it's just surviving through the day. That's like East Tennessee history I was talking about earlier being so much because it was the frontier. Like I'm amazed with uh,
The Appalachians.
yeah, all that. Like the Cherokee Indians
I'm
were
so,
nobody's friend at the time.
yep.
And that's what people don't realize. I mean, we have a very emotional attachment today, but like back then, there really were. I mean, if you look at the Declaration of Independence, it talks about how the king didn't help the uh, the colonists deal with the savages. I mean, and that's like you forget they weren't called. I don't know when Indians came into term. That's blamed on Christopher Columbus, but our first American document was the savages because it was hostile, and that's people were just literally trying to make it through the day. It was so horrible and so hard, and here we are today, and we got to get on YouTube and try to ruin people's chats. You know, I mean, it's so weird how we've come around. But that Selma story, though, that's so touching. Like, I understand everything you said. If you haven't seen this, if you haven't been there,
Uh,
you don't understand it, do you?
no, I mean, you watch the movie
Mm-hmm.
and you see the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're there,
It's
it's
entirely
not.
different.
It's totally different. Totally different. You get out and you walk around and you feel the pain. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
like you know the story of Selma,
Yeah.
the march, and what happened afterwards. And you stand there and you just, because the way I was raised,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have no hate in me towards any kind of race, any kind of person,
Mm-hmm.
anything. And I get these overwhelming feelings of sadness when I go to places like that because you're just like, how can people have been like that? And even today, how can people still be this way?
Yeah. It's funny. Um, See, you grew up in Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you like the civil rights era didn't affect Wisconsin in the ways like it affected different places in the South,
No.
and it's so like you had a moment that's unique to you that I may never be able to relate to because to me that's I mean Selma's just a name. It's
Someone put in chat, and I think
it's
it was
everywhere.
checking. We're considered farmers,
Mm-hmm.
and our way of life up here is simple.
Mm-hmm.
Not simple. I don't want to say simple. I don't uh hardworking people. Um, the only thing we have in Green Bay is the frickin' Packers. Okay, let's just
Yeah.
say it that way.
uh,
And it's just a lot of farmland. Now
yeah.
we do have a historical area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have been there multiple times doing paranormal investigations also. And there's a lot of history actually. I just recently was learning while doing these investigations that Green Bay actually was a big part of the Underground Railroad.
That's so weird.
These historical homes, we have a lot of historical homes in Green Bay,
Mm-hmm.
historical to our area. And a lot of these homes um, were part of the Underground Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
So I did not know that. Um, and
so,
I don't think I've ever seen, and that's something, and I've even said this to myself before. Is like that's something I'd like to know more about. Is the Underground
yep,
Railroad.
checking, there's another one. We have underground booze running tunnels from the mob.
And
Yep.
I did know that. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
did know that. Real quick, I kind of ignored the chat here for a little bit, listening to your story. Lori says in Mobile, Alabama, they have for the Civil War. Still has the original cannons. That's just so. That's what's so crazy about some of the stuff. You don't
Yep.
realize you can still see it. There's another one. Yeah, Chris is right here.
I'm surprised
Charleston.
Chris is even up yet.
Uh-oh.
And
Uh-oh.
Bling for that matter. I'm surprised Bling and Chris are even up yet.
Uh, do they live in a weird time zone, or is it their routines?
Yeah, they usually go to bed early.
Oh, well, there you go. You've it's the magic of Yaya. Um, I want to get this one in real quick though. Like I saw this and it was where'd it go? Lori had one. She said, "Oh yeah, Mobile, Alabama." No, that's not the one. I just read that one. There's another one I thought she had about Mobile. Talked about her dad. Oh yeah, here we go. Some
Her
really
dad's
poor
house.
areas in Mobile, a place where her dad grew up. The house is unrecognizable. Yeah, Mobile is. I used to. Again, this goes back to childhood and my dad. Uh, we having the opportunity to travel over Mobile as a little kid. I think Mobile might have been the first beach I ever went to. It's crazy. Uh, that's what I love. I love the internet because here we are talking about all these places and like Selma, like it's somewhere I never would have thought about. Um,
And like I said, I don't know why it even popped into my mind that day.
mhm,
I was just looking because we were on our way to Panama City Beach by my dad.
mhm.
And I don't know if we were ahead of time or what. I said, well, let's go find this here. I want to go see a historical area. I think that's what it was. And so I was looking for somewhere to go that was not too far off the beaten path,
Mhm.
and I saw Selma on the map and I said, let's go to Selma. Shani made a really good point right here. I
Mhm.
feel like you really have to go looking for the history in the Midwest, whereas you can actually feel it in the South.
Oh yeah, I see this. Yeah. Now, see, I forget that Wisconsin and Minnesota, y'all are considered Midwest, right?
Yeah.
See, when I think of like Midwest, I don't know why, but I think Kansas.
Kansas is considered Midwest, I think. Um, so is Iowa,
Really?
Ohio.
Ohio can't be Midwest, really?
Yeah,
Huh.
I
So
think.
I've never thought of it
What?
like that. Midwest has
I
always amazed me because the again, this is the Memphis coming at me. Memphis is called the Mid South, and which I mean on a map it's in the middle of the South, so that made sense to me. But I've never, I don't know, the Midwest is like I said, I always thought that was like Kansas and uh, gosh, I don't know what other states I even thought of. I guess we'll have Missouri maybe. I don't know.
don't remember what's all considered the Midwest. So
I will after this stream though. Uh,
Michigan, yes, Michigan, Michigan. Um, that's
so you guys, like I said, you
yeah,
didn't have.
Indiana, Ohio. Yep. Okay, Missouri. Yep.
Oh,
There you go.
Indiana. Yeah, I wouldn't think. That's right,
Oh,
Indiana. Now I
Indiana.
got.
Oh, never mind about Indiana.
Uh oh.
No, not going there.
Now I've got my whole mind back around. I can see in a map now the Midwest in my mind. So I was asking about the civil rights stuff, and then you start talking about how the history and the uh, uh, Underground Railroad. Since we started this off talking about crime, uh, did was were you when it happened? Were you paying attention to the stuff that happened in Kenosha?
Oh yeah,
So you knew about the whole
I
Rittenhouse
have
thing,
family
like
down
when it
in
happened.
that. I
Oh,
have family.
jeez.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it? Was it? Because I'm asking this question because I think I know the answer. Um, was it upsetting for you to hear the national media talk about it was about race?
Um,
I just,
I,
I'm
I
sorry. I just don't think, and this might be my own
well,
ignorance.
I'm
I,
trying to, I'm trying to, because, um, I don't know, I don't want to use the wrong words here.
yeah,
Um,
and maybe I asked the question wrong. But my
no,
feeling is
I
that
understood. I do not, oh God, how do I say this without getting in trouble?
uh-oh.
Um, what happened with George Floyd, um, I think it was a disgrace what they did to him.
Hmm.
Um,
But Kenosha got started over the guy. He got shot by the police.
right. But it was also carried
Yes, all
over
that other
from
stuff.
the George Floyd thing
Hmm.
too. Um, Rittenhouse, in my opinion, that was Kenosha, right? The one you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I am not a fan of certain weapons.
Hmm.
Um, do we have? Yeah, we have.
Hmm.
Um, but I've never allowed them in my house
Hmm.
until my kids were grown and out of the house. Um, I don't have a problem with people carrying them.
Hmm.
I have no, but for him, I think of it this way. Why was this kid there with that type of gun?
Hmm.
Do I have a lot of issues with the whole situation.
Well, I was going more for like because I remember thinking to myself, when did I miss this became a race issue?
We have a
And
lot
because
of race issues in that area.
okay, see, I didn't know that, and so like
Yes,
for me sitting here, like I said, I got family in Wisconsin. I've been there. I love this state. I love
because
you. I've never met somebody from Wisconsin I didn't love.
and it's flowing over from Milwaukee,
Okay,
Chicago. Um,
all right. So see, that's
I
that.
have a whole issue with. I have no problem with protests,
Mhm.
peaceful protests.
Yeah,
I
I don't
have
think
issues
anybody.
when it gets out of hand.
Which that whole year, a lot of stuff
And
got out of
it
hand.
happened here.
Really.
Um, yeah, we had it going on downtown Green Bay. My husband said, "Hey, you might want to come see this on TV."
Mm-hmm.
Walk in the living room, there's my fucking kid on the news
Ah.
because um, we had a protest downtown,
Uh-huh.
and there were shootings down there that night,
Uh-huh.
and one of the gas stations got busted up,
Uh-huh.
and what do I see is my kid's face on TV standing there. I took a picture of it and I texted it to him and I said, "What the F are you doing?"
Uh-huh.
And his comment to me was, "Mom, when am I ever going to see this again?" He was into photography at the time,
Uh-huh.
and he wanted to go down and take pictures. Um, I said, but do you realize what could have happened?
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize the gunshots went off right by him, right by him. And as he was running, he got hit with tear gas by the police.
Mm.
He was not arrested or anything, but so I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand the fascination with it.
About the protesting or
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
That's
why this everything has to become about race.
yeah. Instead of just what's right and what's wrong, and
Right.
we're supposed to have. I mean, we have elections, we have uh, courts. We're supposed to have. We're supposed to let the. I mean, I hate using the word system, but I mean, we're supposed to let the system. Uh, it's supposed to work. I mean, as screwed up as our court system is, and we all see faults in and whatnot, it's still the best system in the world. Uh, it's the last place where you can
Mob
defend
protesting.
yourself. But
Yes.
yeah, I like that
I think
Generations.
everybody should have the right to defend themselves. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Um, but what had been going on during that time, it there you go, Shawnee, right there. Human and
human
humanity
humanity.
is lacking. Yes.
I saw that
You
same
know,
comment. I'm glad you picked up on that.
because of what happened with George Floyd, all of a sudden everything blew up
Yeah.
all over. And that's where Kenosha came in too, and I look at this kid that basically the same age as one of my kids at the time with this gun.
Mm-hmm.
What was he doing down there in the first place? As a mother, that's how I'm seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
After watching video after video after video after video, yes, I can understand that he what do you call it? He self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
And but there should be some. I'm thinking there should have been some um type of punishment. The fact that he came across state lines, I guess,
Mm-hmm. But
and
but did he though? Wasn't the didn't his dad live there?
he got my understanding. I didn't follow it honestly. I
Yeah.
By this point I was so sick of hearing about everything.
Oh yeah.
This was about the time I stopped watching the news.
Well, let's just go back to my question then. Is that because I mean, look, if anybody wants to look at it, read or anything, just read the case. It's an amazing case. There's a lot of stuff that happened in there that I would probably get kicked off YouTube, start talking about. Like, I don't know did the
Yeah.
FBI magically get drone footage that nobody knew about? Oh, whoa, that was weird.
Let's
But
see, I don't
anyway,
know. Yeah.
yeah,
They're
yeah, that's
saying
all the
his
case.
dad lived 15 minutes from there. Yeah. The gun was in Wisconsin,
Yeah,
but I think his mom
his
brought
mom
him
lived
from
in.
Illinois or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Like I said,
I just thought it was weird because I didn't think that. And you said that race had become an issue because it was overflowing from the major cities there, and I
yes,
didn't realize that. So you told me something that I was completely oblivious to.
it's come and it is now in Green Bay.
Yeah, see, I thought it would be like, yeah, it is upsetting for someone who lives there because you don't have those types of problems in small town Wisconsin. It just doesn't seem like it seems like that shouldn't be an issue. I mean, it just honestly, I really I think of Wisconsin as being one of the nicest states in the country. It's anyway, I don't know. It's but evidently y'all breed serial killers though.
Yeah, we do. A Rittenhouse was Outpost Nerd said Rittenhouse was not about race. No one was black. But
Oh,
wasn't but
that's what
wasn't the
the protest
protest
was.
the protest
Yeah,
was because
and I forget the guy who was shot. Oh, what was his name?
oh yeah, that was
He got shot like 7 times.
the guy in Kenosha. Yes, now you reminded me. Okay, yes. Now it's all coming to me.
Yeah, his
Um
ex-wife,
yeah, sorry,
girlfriend,
not
something like that.
sorry. Sorry, not sorry that that dude um I don't remember how many times they said he got shot, like 6 times,
Yeah,
and that maybe that was a little excessive. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it, but the guy was trying to take the woman's van with her kids in it,
yeah,
and there was a lot more to that story.
yeah,
He was I, I wasn't there. I didn't see it. But they did show footage of him grabbing for a knife.
yeah. And it's funny you used the word
Yes, he pulled
excessive.
a knife out on the cops. Yes,
Yeah,
and the kids were in the car. Yes, not. Thank you, Outpost. You brought it all back to me. I forgot about that. I forgot about that one.
yeah.
Um,
That's why I was kind of like I was like how did we jump from there to it being a thing about race? And that's where I was like, it just seemed it was so shocking to me. And not shocking is maybe not the right word. It's just like I got lost in it.
it was it became about race because the cops were white
Yeah,
and the guy was black, and
that's
but
all it
that
took, right?
guy had a rap sheet.
Oh yeah,
Um, he- yeah, 6 times may have been excessive. I wasn't there. Was he on drugs that we don't know about that they couldn't bring him down? I don't know.
well,
You know,
here's the thing: the excessive stuff. The answer to how many times do you shoot somebody? That's because police are in the same stuff as us. It's self defense of yourself or others. Is when you use deadly force, and the answer always is you keep shooting until the threat's gone. You
well,
know,
I don't agree with that.
but psychologically, that's what you do.
Yeah.
There's so many reports of that's why there's so many shots fired because when a in a instant like that you shoot until you have no more bullets and you don't even realize you're doing it. They'll ask cops like how many times they shot and they're like I shot the guy 3 times and they'll find out that they shot him they used every bullet they had, whatever the magazine capacity was.
Yes, Bling, I know that.
uh
I agree it was in self-defense. But my point is, why was he even there underage with a gun? That's my whole point. Yes,
and
they should aim to harm and disarm, correct. Um,
um
but that guy pulled a knife. He had a knife in that van, that or wherever,
yeah.
and there were kids in that van.
Oh yeah, yeah. That guy, and he was shot like 6 times, whatever, and he's still alive, too. So all of that, like he could have gone to trial. He could sue. He could do everything. I don't even know what happened to that guy. I don't know what the end game was, but it seems to me like all of a sudden all these people started showing up, and that's
See,
why
I
I
don't
was
like
like,
these are conversations I don't like getting into because
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to say like that was not my original intent or thing.
Yeah,
I just was like, what was that like for you? Like, did it upset you?
yeah, it upset
Was
me
it
very much.
because I didn't
The whole
whole thing?
thing upset me.
Yeah. Let's see. I didn't see it. I mean, I don't know. It's just the way the media is. I guess maybe this is because coming off of Farron last night. You see them creating stories. It seems like, and I'm like, gosh, man, just Wisconsin's such a cool place. Like and whenever we don't let the court system work, it won't work. And that's what I was just, I don't know. I just wondering, like, is that something? And then you answered the question. You said there's such an influence from like Milwaukee and Chicago and stuff coming in now that yes, you're having those problems.
Oh,
So,
the meth and heroin problems that our small town has now, in the last couple years, we've had more shootings, in Green Bay, um, in the first couple months of the year than we have had in like 5 years, for 5 years previous.
oh wow,
It's getting pretty scary around. I mean, for me, scary because, I didn't grow up um in that kind of an atmosphere.
do you think it's getting worse, or do you think that
Worse.
we're YouTubing it more?
No, it's worse
Worse? Okay.
because I mean, before I was ever even on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
I follow, there's a
That's right. See.
website on Facebook called the Green Bay Crime Reports,
Oh wow.
and they put out you know, a lot of stuff on there. They follow the scanner and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they put out the arrest records for the day before, and it has gotten pretty bad. I mean, around here that, and what is happening is the um, welfare here in Wisconsin is very easy to get.
Oh, it's amazing
And
how the easier
the
it to me it shows that there's a element that
and I'm not
follows that
saying
for a purpose.
it's one race or another,
No, no,
um,
it's
because we have a very high population of Hmongs here,
that's right.
um, Hispanics,
Mm-hmm.
um, and African American
Mm-hmm.
is getting more prominent. And what's happening is because, and I'm also blaming this on the white people too.
Uh-huh.
Welfare system here in Wisconsin is very easy to get, and housing, food stamps, everything. You just apply for it, and generally you'll get it. So what's happening is the uh, people who want to get out of Chicago, um, are coming here. Milwaukee, because Chicago, Milwaukee's so bad, they're wanting to come here, and it's I don't know, it's just gone downhill so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Um, it's like you feel like you have to keep moving further and further out in the country just to get away.
And that's the same everywhere. That's it's yeah. It is weird. There's a new element. I
They're
probably have
yeah,
it. Pro,
checking said it too. They come from Illinois to Minnesota for the welfare check, high cash paying here in Minnesota. Same thing in Wisconsin. Yes. Yep. The more babies you have, the more you get.
yeah.
They don't do,
Tennis,
you know,
I
and
mean,
then you have like the Taylor Schabusiness case,
yeah,
that comes right back around into it with the drugs and, it all rolls together.
yeah, it does. It does. Wait, that kind of reminds. Okay, so you talk about crime and you talk about back to Taylor, and Taylor lived close enough for me. I would say be like neighborhood type,
She was a
not
block from
in.
my house
Yeah. So,
when she was a kid, not where this happened.
okay, okay. I was gonna say
This
because
happened, yeah, this happened across town, but she
okay.
grew up one block from me.
Well, maybe this same question still applies. So Taylor Schabusiness, she's on a lot of drugs. That means
Oh
she's
yeah.
able to get a lot of drugs.
Hmm.
Does that? Do you see? Does that shock you at all to think that your
No,
town or that close to you, you
not
can get that
anymore.
type? No.
No.
Gosh, that's so sad.
My cousin-in-law, I guess I
Yeah.
would call her. Um, my husband's cousin, pretty close to. She lives in Arizona, and her daughter ran away and came back to Green Bay. Um, Something went down in town. There was a shooting or something, I don't know. And she was down there, and she was arrested because for possession of heroin.
Mm.
And she was, I want to say 18, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. And she had to be arrested. She had to be 18 because she was arrested and she was in jail for a while, about a month.
Mm-hmm.
And she got out. She was clean. The night she got out, one of her friends came over and they found her dead the next morning in the bathroom from a heroin overdose.
Oh my gosh. Golly.
They think it was a setup. She knew too much.
Really.
Yep. She had videos on Facebook and Instagram how she was so excited to be able to eat her favorite snacks again and
Mm-hmm.
um all this other stuff. And all of a sudden a friend called up, came over or showed up, and she was found dead. Where did she get the H from?
Yeah.
What happened? It's never been looked into.
So this is something that I found out about Monday. This is happening. There's accusations about a police chief where people are trying to say, like the word on the street is that the police chief is obviously taking bribes because there's a well-known drug dealer runner or something like that is not being investigated or something like that.
Here?
Do you? No, no. This is in
Oh,
Tennessee. In Tennessee, is and well, the way you reacted, I think I already have my answer. I was going to ask is, do you ever feel like or think that like the police they don't find answers because it's just not worth it to them, or that they're? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going down that conspiracy level.
I believe there are good cops, bad cops. I
Hmm.
believe I have a lot of law enforcement actually in my family.
Yeah.
A lot of my younger cousins and stuff. I mean, I've got like five of them that became
Oh, that's
law
awesome.
and are in law enforcement. Um, they're um, they're in certain counties. I'm not going to say all of them, but there is a lot of corruption,
Yeah.
like big time corruption, like over the top corruption. Um, we just had a really, really awesome police chief that retired from here, and we just got a new one.
Hmm.
So do I think there should be uh I think I mean, there's corruption in every form of the government as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
Um, and it, in the case you're talking about, that needs to be looked into.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Well, okay, so and I bring that up because again, it's that Summer Wells thing. Like we talk about it being,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Okay.
there's corruption there supposedly. You know,
Checking, I wasn't gonna say that, but yes,
uh,
absolutely.
this one
Manitowoc.
I don't even know how to pronounce
Manitowoc
that.
is corrupt as F. You got that right.
Where
It's that
is
good.
Manitowoc?
It's about 45 minutes from me.
So it's in
Um,
Wisconsin.
yeah, it's where the Stephen Avery case is.
Gotcha. Okay, so
And
now I got it.
the good old boy club,
Okay.
that Lawson, you got that right. Ooh,
Uh,
you don't want to get Checking and I going on that case. Trust me, you do not want to get her and I going on she even just said at the good old boy club. Yep.
yeah.
You don't want her
We
and I to go down that rabbit hole right now.
yeah. That's okay, we won't. I'll just take that as a warning. We won't. Hey, closers, I see you're in the chat too. I love checking convictions. She's on
Yeah.
it, man. She is on
Her
it.
and I are probably sisters from another mister or something. There's something between the two of
I
us.
swear.
We are we are into everything the same. We I saw she was doing the Stephen Avery stuff, and I'm like, and I don't like to talk about it really online
Yeah.
because it's very, very touchy in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And with me living in Green Bay, um, I was on a group on Facebook
Uh huh.
for Stephen Avery,
Oh wow.
and I am a local, and so I keep a lot of all I have to say. In fact, one of my best friends and I are like, when this subject comes up, we have to walk away from each other
Really?
because she thinks he's guilty. I don't think he's guilty. And it can get ugly. So we have agreed not to have this topic brought up at all. And my husband, I was so deep into the research on this case, I was obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband put a stop to it because of the fact that
You're
we are local.
yeah.
And so yeah.
You know that's what I don't know. It's funny. You get obsessed with a case like that. Has anything else gotten your attention like that, or is this one the Avery case more because it is local?
Well, first of all, he was in jail for 18 years for R he never committed. He spent 18 years in prison for R he did not commit. He was he was what do you call it? He got out of jail and his DNA was screwed up.
Yeah. Yes.
So he puts out, I believe, checking. I've been away from the case for a little bit here. $56 million lawsuit against Manitowoc County.
Oh wow.
for he was exonerated. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. I believe it was a $56 million lawsuit against 36 million. Thank you. See, my brain is whatever. I was only 20 million off, whatever. So he filed a $36 million lawsuit against this Manitowoc County.
Mhm.
And the insurance will not pay for their insurance would not pay for it. So therefore, it was the sheriff's department also, not the police department. It was the sheriff's fibro brain. Thank you. Fibro fog. I just blame it on that. And all of a sudden, within a matter of weeks, months, I mean, Teresa Hallbach, rest in peace, goes missing. And they automatically blamed it on him. They never, there's so much evidence to prove him innocent. It's disgusting. What that, what's his name? Oh, I can't even stand him. I can't even stand to look at his name. The guy who, I'm losing all my thought here. The guy who, the public, help me,
Attorney, public
no,
defender.
a public, the DA, Kratz, thank you.
District attorney. Okay.
Kratz, the story he told after they bullied a 16-year-old kid
Mhm.
into confessing, and he is mentally challenged. He has, it is horrible how they describe this so-called crime scene and what happened to her and all this stuff. But do you know what? There was not one spot of her blood in that trailer.
Oh wow.
There are two men in jail for this. Two. One was 16 at the time, and then there's Stephen, and they're still in jail. No DNA anywhere. And supposedly they shot her in the garage. Supposedly they slit her throat in his bedroom, and he lived in a single wide.
Yeah.
How'd they get her out of there with no blood anywhere? How?
They had a big crock pot box.
There you go. No. It's on Netflix. It's cut her hair too. Yep. It's Making a Murderer.
Oh yeah, I know that series.
Yes, that's what it's based. That's who we're talking about. Is that case?
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah. And Kathleen Zellner, and they found a bullet. By the way, this is what really kicked me up too. I get so angry when I talk about it. They found a bullet in the garage, wood in the garage, and it supposedly had her DNA on it. Well, they also took her chapstick and a couple other personal items from her house to match the DNA. And when Kathleen Zellner got a hold of it, lo and behold, would you not, the red on the bullet that they claimed was blood was red paint from the barn, garage, whatever it was. And it was chapstick from her chapstick on the bullet for the DNA.
That's weird.
Yep.
Jeez.
And there is a lot more a
Yeah.
lot more to it that it takes hours to go through. It would take days.
Well,
Just go watch.
it sounds like you and Chucky need to get together and get it all cut down into like a 30 minute. I mean, you can't do 30 minutes, I'm sure, but you know, maybe even a series. I don't know.
Yes, with cotton strands on it from a Q-tip. Yeah, that was right too. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. That's so
Yeah.
crazy. Um. Well, listen. We've been going for 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing how when you enjoy someone. I mean, I just looked up. I was like, holy cow! Like I've got to get some rest. I bet you really have to get some rest. Is there anything else? Anything in the world you want to talk about?
Not really. Um, well, I mean, if anybody had
I just love that. I just love that. It's just, not really. I'm like, what?
a bling, you would like to see us do a live on that case? Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
damn,
that'd be awesome. That'd be
damn.
awesome. Um,
There's a certain person in the I'll text you, bling, and I'll let you know. But I mean, if anybody has a question for me, we can go back to the Taylor case for a minute, but
yeah. Anybody? Does anybody have a Taylor Schabusiness question? I know
I
we
am
get.
gonna say I am going to follow it through the courts.
Mhm.
Um, if you wanna, I don't know if they're gonna uh, vid, uh put it on TV or whatever they do, court
Yeah,
TV, whatever. Um, we can go through it together while it's going through and
I
keep
was
up with
gonna.
it.
I was so gonna ask you that earlier. I'm so glad you see you read my mind. That's like good Wisconsin thinking there.
Yeah.
Um, so what I was gonna ask was, you said you're gonna follow it stuff
Oh yeah.
again. You being closer to it, if you follow it and let me know if there's anything, because I'll miss it. I'll forget things. I told you earlier. I did my start was with the Gabby Petito
Oh,
stuff.
that was just, oh,
Well, there's a case coming up on that. I haven't
yes.
fought. I owe it to them. I feel like I owe it to everybody to follow up on that. I want to know what's the deal that Brian had $20,000 in a bank account.
Um,
And yet he had to say, they were like, the only
yeah, and yet
way,
he was taking her money.
yeah. I was like, well, that doesn't seem right.
Um,
Um, a
I
lot of people
seriously,
have questions about it.
I seriously think the parents knew,
Hmm.
um, before he even got home. Um, because I mean, come on, you just don't freaking show up at home one day and your missing girlfriend's van and you don't ask your kid. I'm sorry, I'm a mom. You don't say
Yeah.
hey, what the hell? Or the fact that they blew off the potatoes, and I mean that whole case
Hmm.
is so sad, and two lives gone at a very early age, and it was just a wow case.
Guys, Lori knows everything.
Lori is a walking encyclopedia, by the way.
I love having her in the
She
chat.
she deep dives into everything.
I mean,
Um, oh, anybody who's interested, I don't know, but we have a group of 11 of us.
thank you checking. Uh huh.
We are creating a research team with
Hmm.
Purple's channel, um, which includes Lori, Bling, myself, um,
That's interesting right
Purple, Chris, who was in here,
there. Yeah.
Amanda,
Hmm.
and a couple. Frank is
Mm-hmm.
in with us, and we're gonna deep dive into missing people cases, including missing people, children, um, some cold cases.
Yeah.
And we're starting off with the Crystal Rogers case.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be big because I don't know if you've heard of the Crystal Rogers case. It's
I'm not.
from um, town in Kentucky. I'm blow,
I,
having a,
I've got it pulled up right now on. She has a Wikipedia.
yes. And there,
Bardstown. Is that right?
Bardstown,
Bardstown.
yes. There has been 4 murders and 1 missing person. One was a police officer. One was her. Crystal Rogers is still missing.
Mm-hmm.
One was a police officer. One was her dad. And there was a mother and a young girl, daughter, that were also killed, all in Bardstown.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them have been solved.
Oh wow.
And they believe there is a link between them all. The main suspect in the disappearance of
Mm-hmm.
Crystal Rogers is her ex-boyfriend. And it just so happened, talking about dirty cops,
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
brother was on the sheriff's department and got fired for interfering in the investigation. So we're all digging this, and we're going to all come together on panel.
Mm-hmm.
Each of us have one of the people to the story,
Oh wow.
or 2 of us are deep diving into one. Like JR and I are doing Crystal Rogers herself.
Mm-hmm.
Bling is deep diving into a conspiracy theory about it.
Mm-hmm.
Lori's doing Lori, who the hell are you doing? I don't remember.
If you took that clip out, that would be a hoot. Lori, who are
And
you doing?
yeah, that's true. And so sometime in the next week, we are all going to come together and do our what we found on the case, and then have the whole panel discussion with the chat on it.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
his
Let me know when y'all do that. Because I
yeah,
want
4
to.
murders, 1 missing.
That's so crazy. You know what? Have you ever looked into? And I'll let you go. I know we've veered so far away from Taylor. The main thing with her though is did want to talk to you about that. I wanted to make sure see what we can do. I want us to stay in contact about that.
Oh, we will.
Because you're. I mean, it's just I like hanging out with you, and I think tonight we work well together. I think. Uh, but so now that all the Taylor stuff is gone, and we've gone around the world our conversation, and you're talking about this Bardstown. That reminds me. Uh, what about the Delphi murders?
Oh, funny you mentioned that,
Okay.
Frank.
Did you hear me? I go, okay. Like I was like,
Um,
I'm ready to sit back in my chair.
Frank and Lori are working on that one. And there's also 2 missing girls out of Iowa that they may think that case is linked to the Delphi murders.
Really?
Yep. And
Oh.
so but Purple, Lori, and Frank, I think it's just those 3 on that case. They're going to be doing that case. Yes. That
Oh
is
wow.
also coming up, I believe, after. We're also, yeah, I think after this
Now
one.
you
I'm
guys are
not sure.
getting you guys are getting interesting. You're fixing the YouTube problem of like this whole like. With, I mean, I bet if you typed in Summer Wells right now, there's probably a live somewhere going on about it. Um, it became just gossip and craziness. This is, I like what
I'll,
you're saying. What you guys are doing.
to be honest with you,
Hmm.
I really am not following the Summer Wells case anymore.
Oh, there's nothing to tell.
Well, there's nothing to tell, but there's so many lies, bullshit, crap out on YouTube about it that it's so twisted, turned, and inside out, and dog shit on it, and
Hmm.
everything else that I can't even process it anymore.
Normal people can't. Let's
And
see.
there's so many more kids out there that need help. There's so many other cases out there. And, Purple is, and a lot of us are big advocates for Michael Monkey Vaughn.
I keep seeing that name, and I'm not really. Isn't
Brandy's
that
been,
like?
his mother's been in your chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, she comes in here at night to listen to you. And
Is that Brandy Neal?
yes, that is his. And today was the 1 year anniversary that he went
Oh,
missing. And
oh man.
we, as a whole, are gonna every Monday. Purple has Monkey Monday every Monday, and she has been doing it for months and months and months.
Hmm.
And we are all in our little group have gotten to, yes, Summer has gotten lost in all the bullshit, and that is what's truly sad. And her brothers, yes.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, I remember one creator was looking for cases to follow, and somebody had brought up Monkey's case, and that creator said, "There's not enough good juice out there about it."
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh my
these
gosh.
are the problems.
Yeah, and look, you're talking about that. Remember, I said just a moment ago. I said, I bet right now, if you type in Summer Wells, there's a
Hmm.
live about it. Uh, Dolly Vision has
Oh.
322 people watching a live about, and it's got.
And you know what? He's probably not even talking about Summer. He's
Mhm.
probably talking about his soap that he makes and he tries to sell.
I don't even know who that is. I mean,
You,
honestly,
I used to watch him, but I can't anite I can't
uh,
with him. He's got so many. You, oh,
I struck a nerve. And then Crama Mama. It's doing a live behavior panel interviews, review, and discussion, and it's got Don and Candace on this thing. It doesn't say anything about them, but it's
Don's in jail.
yeah. Did you see the letter he wrote?
No, I did not.
Okay, I might do a video on
I
that.
heard about it and I couldn't read it.
I've definitely got to do a video. If I do a video on it,
Yes, Ink, thank you. And
oh
he went,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. She's talking about Dolly Vision. He went down to the vigil and said he wasn't going to go to the vigil. He was going to go hit the strip joints.
I don't, where's a
Good night,
strip joint?
Robin.
Robin's great. Robin, I don't know
I
how
know.
she found this algorithm to come in here, but I love Robin. Um, I don't even
Robin, I
know.
emailed you back.
Oh,
Robin
that's
and
right.
I, yeah,
She was looking for you the other day. I remember
yeah.
that now. Um, uh,
Her
let's
and
see
I go
here.
through the same things in life with our health, I think. And
Oh,
so she joined my channel and
awesome.
we're talking.
She seems to be extremely awesome and
She
legitimate,
is.
a
I
good
love her.
person.
And her voice is amazing.
Did you ever hear, like, I don't even know. I'm going to have to have her on again, talk about it. You know, she did a song for me.
No, I did not.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm so embarrassed because it is the most humbling thing in the world. We talked. I don't know how. I pressure people to come onto the chat, right? Especially as soon as people say I'm embarrassed, I don't want to do it. I won't leave you alone until you get on here. So I got her on, and we started talking because she started talking about music and stuff, and she loves the blues. I love the blues.
I love
Uh,
blues and jazz.
See, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I told her, I was like, I'm a big Elvis fan.
So am I.
And do what?
So am I.
Oh, hello, fist bump. Okay,
Hey, by the
awesome.
way, did you know our camper's name is Elvis?
What else would you name it?
And
That's
it has a,
awesome.
okay, but here's the kicker. There's a door on the camper to go into the bathroom from the outside.
Yeah,
And we have a big decal of Elvis Presley on the door to the shitter
that's awesome.
because he died in the bathroom. Get
Yeah.
it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. I get it very much so.
But
Uh,
the golf cart's name is Ozzy, by the way.
for Ozzy Osbourne,
Of course.
you rock. Oh my gosh, you're my type of chick. We're gonna have to talk music. Uh, this is gonna kill you because I'm not gonna talk about it tonight. But my dad used to go to Elvis's parties.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, yeah. He was. They. He was. I don't know. My dad always had older friends and stuff like that, and one of his friends' brothers was part of that Memphis Mafia, and it's just so yeah. I've got all those great stories. Matter of fact, you're in Wisconsin, Appleton, Wisconsin. Am I saying that
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They brought the roller coaster from Memphis, the wooden
Yep.
roller coaster, to the
No,
Zip and
that's
Pip.
actually here in Green Bay.
Oh, it's in Green Bay. Oh, have you been
Yes.
on it?
No, I do not do roller coasters I had a really bad experience years ago and it threw my equilibrium off so
Oh,
bad.
yeah, yeah, I understand that.
Busch Gardens, I went on the Kumba when we were living down there and I was so sick. I'm telling you, I was never so sick in my life and I will never get on another roller coaster. But yes, it is here in Green Bay,
Well,
um,
I'll tell you
at Pamper,
this:
at Bay Beach Park.
the Zip and Pippin. If you go see it, you can look at it and you can know one that was Elvis's favorite ride.
Yep, the Zip and
He
it's here in Green Bay.
he used to rent out Liberty Land in Memphis, and he would love the Zip and Pippin. And two, the Baby Expert, Little Expert, that was his first roller coaster.
Really?
So yeah, oh, yeah, that was my first roller coaster.
Oh, now I don't know. May I might have to go out there.
I,
I don't
I mean,
know.
I'm telling you, you got me and Elvis. Well, excuse me, listen, you got Elvis and me.
I stopped on a trip. We stopped in Memphis at
Hmm.
Elvis's um house
Yeah,
mansion,
Graceland.
Graceland, and we couldn't get in, but my name is on the wall.
That's awesome.
My name is on the wall.
That's awesome. Yeah, Graceland's cool. I've been there a bunch. Actually, I feel like I need to go back. Um, it's I love all that stuff. I just Elvis was just the coolest to me. He invented cool. Um, yeah, what guy was talking
Do
about
you
that?
know that my mom
Oh, it was
went to
Robin. Is what we're
see
talking.
Elvis in concert?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it was either his last show or the second to the last show, I think it was, before he died.
Oh,
And I
no
can
kidding.
remember my mom was sitting in the kitchen with the realtor
Mm-hmm.
because we were putting her house up for sale because she was marrying my stepdad. I was 10 years old. My God, he's been dead 50 years. But I
Right.
remember it came across the TV
Mm-hmm.
that Elvis died.
Oh
And I
wow.
started screaming and crying. Mom, Elvis is dead. Elvis is dead.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm 56. So no, that
mhm,
was 46 years ago.
something. Yeah, it's
Yes,
Elvis.
I wrote on Elvis's brick wall. Everybody does. It's all full of names.
um, yeah, it's just it's such a crazy thing to think about. Elvis is just cool. But anyway, yeah. So that was Robin did blue suede shoes. She got the inspiration. She recorded herself and did. And I've been meaning I've got to take it. I want to cut it for an intro. Uh, and I say cut it like I mean, well, I don't want to do the whole song. I want to do like the first like minute and a half. And she's just oh man, I love Robin. She's great.
I do
But
too. And I love everybody here. That's the thing. Everybody in your chat, and I'm really disappointed Nick's not here tonight.
Nicholas Taylor.
Yes,
I saw him around somewhere. I can't remember where now.
because he was freaking out the other night when he found out that I knew Taylor Schabusiness. He's like, "No,
That's
you did
right.
not."
That's right.
And he's
That's
like, "You
right.
did not." I'm like, "Yeah, I did.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
do. Well, I did. I'll say
Yeah,
I did because I haven't seen her since she was in high school." But
but still, it's you know that whole case and you know that area, and it's so nice because like now you get to paint a picture for everybody. This was the first picture, the first image people are going to get, and I think you and I will both be in touch and doing this as we go forward, and
oh,
watch how the interest starts coming up on this, and I think it's really going to be cool. Um, and it's so cool that you're there, and man, just thank you so much for coming and talking to me.
oh, no problem. I enjoyed it.
Uh,
I
it's
mean, it's not been an easy case for me with
yeah,
everything that surrounds it, by no means whatsoever. Um, but it is real,
yeah,
and it's disturbing at the least. Well, I don't know. It's
disturbing.
I don't know.
It's like I think there will be. Here's something I think that, and I encourage everybody who's listening or that does listen, to get your facts now. Get as much as you can about it because I bet you a national media picture gets painted very differently than what
Yep.
we're at.
Oh yeah.
That's why I asked that hard question. I was worried about was do you think there was cannibalism involved?
No,
And her was it you said something else wasn't true? Was it her infatuation with Jeffrey Dahmer?
I don't think that was true. I
Don't think
think
okay.
I mean I could be wrong. I'll dig on that one. But I did an interview with somebody who made a documentary about it, and her father saw the documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the reason why I was not allowed at AJ's funeral.
That's so horrible.
AJ understood it. He understood, but I also understand that the father was burying his son.
Yeah.
His daughter is in prison. And the last thing I wanted was to create any kind of scene at any
Yeah.
funeral or anything. And my son did talk to the dad,
Yeah.
and because the dad had come out and told my son that he wanted to sit down and talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not talked to the man, and I will not talk to the man because I did nothing wrong.
Uh,
Everything that was put out there was truth.
and this is all going about AJ.
Yeah, when
Okay.
he was mad about dad was mad about the documentary,
Yeah. Gotcha.
and therefore he did not want me at the funeral for AJ. And I accept that, I really do.
You know,
Um,
it's and I'm very proud of you for accepting that. A lot of people would have a problem, I think, and it's not a moment for you. I don't think funerals are
no, it wasn't about me.
yeah.
And my son and I made an agreement that when he is able to, he will take me to his grave where I can say my goodbyes.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
I mean, I can't imagine what his father is going through right now,
Hmm.
even though he is kind of a POS,
Yeah.
but
Still,
he still lost his son and his daughter is in prison
gosh,
for a
man.
horrendous crime.
I mean, like,
I don't
yeah,
have to like the father, but my heart goes out to him, if that makes sense.
yeah, it does. That's
I'm not a hateful person,
that's
you
awesome.
know, and I'm not going to hold that against him ever. And justice will prevail.
Hmm.
It doesn't hurt to see her turn into this kind of a monster. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, in the beginning, when it first happened, I went through my stages of guilt. Could I have helped her? Could I have done anything to change who she became? Could I have been there more for her as a mom figure? Maybe, but in all honesty, I don't think I could have said or done it. I really don't. She became who she became,
yeah.
you know?
Thank you, checking convictions for the super chat. That's thank you. I'm so humbled. Yeah, yeah. You, what you did. Please don't second guess yourself. Please don't ever think, could you have done more? Um, that is. I mean, come on. You've given me this time, and time is the most precious thing in the world. And you give me this time, and you didn't have to, and you've expressed everything to me. If you could have helped, you'd have seen that light. You'd have seen that opportunity to help. Some people, you just can't, and that's what hurts us. I think that goes back to that trying to figure out evil. Oops, oops, you're back. I lost you. You're back.
I'm here. No, I'm here.
Okay, okay.
Just so people here understand also that person who made the documentary filed a cease and desist on me, so I cannot, please don't mention his name or his
Yeah,
channel name. I cannot discuss him.
yeah. Um. Well, I'll tell you what. This has been a big night. This has been my hardest night talking to somebody because I didn't know what to expect, what to do. Super V says you're wonderful. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Uh, it's again, this is that internet thing. Super V lives out in Washington State. And it's so weird to think that your story and all this stuff gets out to so many different people. You don't even know how this will affect people um, uh, in their lives and whatnot. Uh, if there's nothing else to be said, if you don't mind, hang on a second. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the broadcast, and
Yep,
I want to tell you, I want to say goodbye to you, just you and me. So after this is over, you mind stick around for like just 1 minute?
sure.
All right, hey guys, Warrior Sisterhood. Check out her page. The link should be in my description. She's gonna be if she's not on the channels, then I mean, I probably messed up. Uh, but anyway, always gonna be linking to her. Love her. Stick around. Always. To whenever she's around the chat, you know there's gonna be good stuff in there. And guys, thank you for checking us out. Thank you, Yaya, again. And guys, really honestly, if she hasn't given you enough reason tonight on why to be good and love life and have a good time, I don't know what is. So thank you, Yaya. And guys, good night. Be good to each other, all right?